Welcome to Angels, Positivity, and Love. Another amazing episode with incredible guests and totally deep insight. Lots of healers, lots of authors. Here today, we've got Rachel Garrett. She's a nurse, RN designation, CCH, but she's also a healer, and I'm not kidding, certified in like 30 areas. She can get you certified, and I'm talking angels, auras, oracle cards, Akashic Records. Her website says it all. Akashic Angels, aka SHIC angels.com. That's AkashicAngels.com. This is Rachel Garrett from New York, and we're going to get to her background in a second. Let's just welcome her on. Rachel, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Michael, so much for having me on. I'm excited to be here today.
We're glad to have you, and we're so excited to have you talk everything under the sun about healing, share what you know. This is going to be a very fun episode. Yeah. I just wanted to take a second to mention the show itself. It's weekly, and if you'd hit the subscribe button and like, a lot of these guests are pouring out their life journey, select moments. They're sharing the wisdom that they've had to sweat it out over, or sometimes not. And they are also taking us through whether it's mindfulness exercises, setting boundaries, little things you can do daily to keep your energy intact, bring in more love, interact with angels. And that's something we're going to do in the second half of the show, but maybe right now as well. I think we're going to break the mold, and I'm going to blow some sage smoke towards Rachel. Now, we just did this before the show. We've done it again before, so we know it's going to work. But if you aren't familiar with this is just regular white sage from Whole Foods, Juniper Ridge. I'm going to light it and use a red-tailed hawk feather to waft it Rachel's way. And you can just let go, be in your heart. Let angels bring you the scent of sage wherever you are. Some people start smelling it the second I start lighting it. Others taste it in their mouth. It doesn't matter which way you do it. Energy is energy. Give yourself permission to let go. Ask your higher self to get involved. And if you wish, ask for it to go big, up and down your back. You're sore on the left arm from yesterday's gardening. Allow, allow, allow. What are you getting, Rachel? Share with us.
I just had a massive snowstorm and I wasn't doing any gardening yesterday. Yay, New York.
Can you smell the, you've got the smoke? Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone's got an origin story, how they got started as a healer. Maybe they put off by a decade, 2 decades, accepting their gifts. Rachel Garrett here in front of us is totally the real package. She does a lot for folks. Why don't you take us through your own introduction and tell us what you do?
Well, hello, everyone. Once again, I'm excited to be here. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse for over 18 years. I would say my origin story started as being a caretaker. I've always been a mother figure to my younger brothers and sisters. I've always been the one that looked out for those that may not have a voice to speak for themselves. And that has kind of always guided me throughout my entire life. And then falling into getting older, I will say I was always intuitive, but I maybe didn't quite have a button of, yeah, you're intuitive, because I grew up in a really Christian family, and we went through this period where Halloween was evil and everything was evil, and and it was kind of like this push-pull inside of you. And then funny enough, I moved from Georgia to Ohio, went to an all-girls Catholic school. I wasn't Catholic, so therefore I was a sinner. So I had to work through that as well. And then it's kind of like, but where I lived, they were very intuitively open. She was a pagan. I was introduced to tarot cards, a spiritualist church. And I was fascinated by people can get messages from divine. You can get messages? What? Why can't I get these messages? I'm an overachiever, always have been. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So that will probably be the start of my journey, but really didn't hop into it probably until I moved to New York. And then I started like really seeking out trainings and mentors, and I want to learn about the angels. I want to learn about mindfulness. I want to learn about Metatron. I want to learn about oracle cards. Want to learn about everything. And now I'm excited because I can help others now that are currently on their spiritual journey and be like, hey, I'm feeling all these things inside of me. I'm getting these flashes of light, or I'm getting these feelings, but I know there's something more. Can you help me? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I can. And I love doing it. So, I mean, I don't really have this big like aha moment. I will say it's something I've always been pushed towards. And I'm grateful that I've always felt like I wasn't alone and I've always been supported. And no matter what, I know I'll be okay. You know, even as basic as that sounds, no matter all the things I've been through, I know I'll be okay because I've got the angels with me, my guides with me, my team with me. And that gives me peace and that gives me joy. And I will say one of the things I do for my clients is I'm really good about finding clarity. If you're somebody who's like stuck, or I don't like to say stuck because I always feel like we're pausing until we find the next best thing, you know? So I started, I'm going back here. I started first with mindfulness and really doing a lot of clear, delete, transmute across the time, space, dimension, reality, clearing out a bunch of limiting beliefs, negative mindset, all of that stuff. And then parlayed me into integrative energy therapy. And then. So that's kind of my long-winded origin story.
Oh no, that's a great story, and you did a really great job describing it all. Tell us more about first your limiting beliefs. Later, we'll
Sure.
cover what you often see people come to you with. There's probably a
Absolutely.
top 10 list, but
Yeah.
what did you have to overcome personally? And then
Ooh.
was it a long
Ooh.
path or a short path?
I feel like it is a never ending path, number one. I think that even I'm a skilled healer. I'm a skilled practitioner. I feel that I am, you know, I'm a channel and divine works with me. The other thing I want to say is anyone can do this. So it's not that I'm more special than anyone else. It's just that I have taken the time to tune in and I've practiced my craft. I would recommend anyone that is really trying to, you know, open up their psychic abilities, open up their intuitive abilities, you know, seek out a mentor, seek out a teacher. Anyone can do it. So I don't want to say I'm special, I'm blessed. You know, no, we can all do it. It's just a matter of I just gotta take the time to do it, you know? So for me, what were some of my limiting beliefs? So that's a good one. So abandonment, I will say. I grew up in I was 4 years old and I remember I don't really share this story much. The police came to my parents' house and my mom was transported by the police and I had to grow up at the age of 4. So, and I will say that that was probably my first like, hmm, this is interesting. Do you know what I mean? So, and then it was like working through abandonment. And I will say the biggest one for me is a fear of being seen. That is something as a healer. There's amazing, wonderful healers, but just don't want to be seen, you know? And it's like, and I had to really work through that. And I will say, probably in actually, it was been a year ago now, I made a pact with myself. And I was like, you know what? I got to do this. I know it's part of my mission. I got to speak my truth. I got to be comfortable being on video. And I signed up to do a psychic radio show. And I'm so grateful that I did it because it got me one comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if the reason why we don't like doing things or going deep within is because we're uncomfortable. And the only reason why we're comfortable is because we haven't faced it, we haven't done it, you know. And then it's like once we do it, we're like, oh, that wasn't that bad, you know. And there's obviously I've been through traumas. We've all been through traumas. I have suicide in my family. I've been fired from jobs. I've had loss of house, loss of income, and I see those now as learning lessons. So it's like you take it from the universe and you're like, do I want to move forward from this or do I want to become a victim of my circumstances? And I'm grateful that I have this inner knowing inside of me that I'm like, and I may stumble down, you know, I may stumble down. I'm not going to lie. I've stumbled down. I'm somebody who also has chronic depression. So I have to like get myself out of the well and then move forward. And then it's a loop, a circle. I'm not good enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of money. I'm not worthy of abundance. Cancel. You know, and it's like, you know, it's like
Yeah.
you gotta look at what runs around in your mind, and then it's looking at it, but then you have to dig in and say, well, where did I develop this belief? Well, when I was 4 years old, I didn't have food. And I, you know, I didn't have sustenance. I didn't have love. I didn't have support. Well, why didn't I? well, this person wasn't an ability in this current moment of now to take care of me. I'm going to forgive that moment because they couldn't do what, you know what I mean? Like they couldn't take care of us. And that's okay. Because now I can take care of myself. I take care of my family. I take care of my patients. I'm grateful that I'm able to be a appropriate caregiver for others. And then it's okay, I've identified it. I clear, delete, transmute it across all time, space, dimension, reality, and I allow it to go. But that's why I also do IET. I love IET.
Tell
So
us
IET,
tell us what IET is, because even I asked you before the show
yes,
for it to be
yes,
spelled out, and
yes.
you did tell me what it was. Integrative tissue therapy.
Integrative energy
Oh, that's
therapy.
it. Sorry.
It is okay. And I am a master instructor. And integrative energy therapy is working with the 9 healing angels of the IET field. So it's Ariel, it's Michael, it's Raphael, it's Daniel, it's Sarah, it's Cassiel, I always Sarah. Sarah's a spiritual bulldozer. If you ever need something clear out of your way, you call on Sarah. But what they do is they channel this angelic energy through what's called a heart link, and it's a golden heart link. And I can teach you guys how to heart link up with the angels. And you send up this heart link, you channel that energy down, you go to the client, it can also be done remotely, and you pull the issues out of the tissues. So if there's a matter of, let's say, like heartache's big. Heartache's big for all of us. No matter what we've been through, heartache is always big. You pull out heartache, you infuse in love. Now, what I love most about IET is you don't have to relive the trauma. So I don't have to sit there and say, well, when I was 15 years old, I was sexually molested. Or when I was 19, you know what I mean? You don't have to sit there with the client and say, what did you go through? Tell me all your deepest secrets. And you know, that's intrusive. And a lot of people they're not quite comfortable to open up yet. Maybe after 5 sessions, they might be, but I love that I can pull it out. And also, it doesn't disrupt your energetic system, because there can be people that will pull stuff out that's not ready to go, and it will disrupt your energetic system. So with IET, I'm doing it right now. You pull it out, you get the issues out of the tissues, and then you infuse the love back in. So I do certify people being IET trainers, which I do love. And IET carried me forward to the Akashic Records, and the Akashic Records all about your book of life. So I'm able to partner in the healing with the reading, with your master teachers and guides stepping forward and say, hey, Mike, you know, and then just say, and I don't like to channel in like, well, when you are 47 years old, you're going to go to the stop sign. And no, I don't do anything like that. It's more like, hey, let's pull in. A lot of people just need a reminder of the divine being that they are here for a purpose. They are divine. They're part of divine. They're worthy of love. They're worthy of all the desires that God has put into their heart, or whatever you believe in. You don't have to believe in God, but you may have desires in your heart. Those are meant to come true. And that's probably my biggest message when I work with my clients. I want people to leave feeling empowered, feeling energized, knowing that, hey, I've got one piece in my puzzle and now I can move on. I love it. I love doing the energy healing with the Akashic Records. And then I pull in other things because I'm a certified crystal healer. I'm always working with crystals. Like, okay, creedite. This is a creedite crystal. It's
Okay,
orange.
but how do we spell creedite so people can follow?
Creedite, and I may be misspelling it, and that's okay.
Okay.
Creedite. Now, creedite's good with working in past lives, and yes, I do go through past lives. And the good thing about past lives is with IET is you also pull out karmic energy from past lives, because what happens in a previous lifetime, let's say you took a vow of poverty, and that's a lot of things that healers take on, is a vow of poverty. It's like they don't feel comfortable in charging for their services, but there needs to be a good energetic exchange. You know, otherwise you feel depleted. You may build up some animosity, like I give and I give and I give, but I don't get anything back. Guys, raise your rates. It's like, you know what I mean? You may take on that vow of poverty, but you bring it into this lifetime. So one, with the Akashic Records, you can identify where you're taking that vow and you can work on that contract. Also with IET, I can clear that energy, because we are a soul residing in a human body, having a human experience. Everything that we go through, doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, it's neutral according to the universe, is embedded into our cellular tissue. And then it goes through our energetic bodies. So we have our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body. all of these instances get packed into all of these energetic bodies. So for IET, you can pull it all through all those bodies, but with the Akashic records, you can say, hey, this is what's going on. Do you want us to resolve this contract? Do you want me to work on this loop? Because there's loops, unconscious and conscious loops, because there's things we also don't know that are running around in our mind on a daily basis. Like I may have I'm not worthy of, and I may not even know it. So there you go.
Oh, that was great. And so folks coming in, I mean, look, you're human, you're living a life, you got to pay
Yes.
bills, you've got obstacles, problems, you know, the usual rigmarole. And
Yes.
so, you know, a lot of stress, fear, worry, and so on. So people can have a clean slate, people can have angels help alter their path. They're needing to take ownership, though, of that. And that's what you can help them with. Can you take us through? So let's back up. I mean, tons of people watching this are sort of seasoned or know something about intuition. But can you take us through what the Akashic records are? And again, just a couple basic statements about the idea of ownership of the path, where you're at now, letting go the energy that doesn't serve and notions, and bringing in more love, being at peace in this very moment now.
Good question. So in a basic sense, the Akashic record is your book of life. It's everything that has been, everything that currently is, everything that will be is in your Akashic records. So every single thing is in your records. That's the basic of it. It's almost like your supercomputer is your Akashic records. It's an energetic area in which, I mean, some people say it's on Shambhala. It's an energetic place where you can go to, and anyone can access their own Akashic records or do readings for other people. There's many books you can access. I think Linda Howe has a book. There's Edgar Casey. He's a sleeping prophet. He has Akashic record books. There's a lot of different books and whatnot. I took a course, and I took an advanced course with the Akashic records because I like to be hands-on, and I like to be I want to make sure that I am ready to go before I release off a talent or a skill that I'm using. So we had to do a lot of practice sessions in order to get certified, which I'm grateful for doing that because one, it made me more confident, and two, it's like, yes, you are correct in where you're going, you're correct in what you're doing because you had a supervisor almost. Now, you're taking
well, I was going to ask for the Akashic records. What are they like? Or are you more feeling them interacting in an energetic way? Or do you get a visual when you're doing it? Are your eyes shut or open? Can you go minute detail in terms of just take us through what you're going through as you're helping someone else and also what you teach?
Sure. So I am, for my clairs, I am not very visual. I am feeling first, knowing second. So I will feel an energy inside of my body, and it depends on like what's going on. Like I may be connected right now and I feel it in the root, or I feel like right now I feel like we're being grounded because we get high up, and I feel it in the soles of our feet. So, and then with the Akashic records, because I'm not just pulling in like, you know, the Akashic records, I'm also pulling in your loved ones, I'm pulling in your team, I'm pulling in your guides. You know, it comes all in, and it will just say, okay, this is who's with us now. Like Archangel Metatron is with us now. You know, Archangel Ariel is with us now. And then I'll just start going. And a lot of times when I'm doing a session, it's very much like, because I'm a channel, it's almost like I have a clear slate in the mind. And I have to drop down into my heart space. All the work that I do is in my heart space. I have to go out of my logical mind. And I'm grateful that I am a registered nurse because I am able to kind of pull from left and right and know what's coming in and how to kind of disseminate the information. Is this Rachel that's putting a prejudice on this thought that's coming in, or is this truly the message that needs to come across? So with that, it's very much I have to discern, I have to trust the energy because I'm not visual. So, and I'll say I'm becoming more visual, and I'm grateful for that. It's something that I'm working on. You know, I can feel auras. It's very interesting. It's almost like, and I guess for anyone that's listening, because a lot of people want to be clairvoyant, they want to be clairseeing. And I 100% understand that. And I will say that was a desire that I had. But I'm grateful for the intuitive abilities that I have because I've structured them, I've worked on them, I've honed on them. And it's okay if you're not seeing. I guess that's the biggest message I want to come across. It's okay if you're not seeing. I see a lot in my dreams. I'm grateful for that. But and day to day. And I think that's also my boundaries that I've put up. You know, like we maybe had a scary moment that we're like, I'm not quite ready to see that yet. And I'll get there, and that's okay. But the biggest thing I want to say is, for anyone that's listening, it's okay if your intuitive ability is you just know. It's okay if your intuitive ability is you just feel. Like right now, I can feel us in our central column of light, and I know that we're supported by divine, but I also know that we're supported by the elementals. So, and also in the in between. So it's like I just have that inner faith and that inner knowing. So when I'm walking through, I guess let's see here, I'm like, what was the question?
Akashic Records, and you're so filling in, you're getting us up to speed so we can understand more about your world and how others can expand theirs, and the healing involved. And so Akashic Records, you're feeling, you're connecting, voices are coming in that are definitely like angelic, and others guides.
I also don't hear.
Okay. Well,
so I lie. I do hear
it's the vibration coming in that you know what it means.
Yes, 100%. And every being comes in a different feeling. But I want to say this first and foremost: you have to make sure you're grounded, and you have to make sure you're in sacred space.
Okay. So what are the 2 steps there? Can you quickly? This is something we can do all the time before we even have a cup of tea, or before we go for a walk, or more importantly, coming out of work, going to work, to really put our boundaries up. Absolutely. Can you go through both of those steps, step by step, that a person can write down and literally start practicing? And how often should they do it as well?
All right. So, okay, first, okay, let's go back. So first and foremost, when you're waking up, you should almost be like, thank you, God, angels, universe. Thank you for another day. Because we always should be in an attitude of gratitude. Thank you, team. Say hi to your guide. Say hi to your team. Hey, what's up, guys? Now, I'm lighthearted. I like to joke around. I like to laugh. So I might be like, what up? You know, and then you know what, it doesn't matter. But I'm like, hey, thank you. And I do a lot in my car, to be quite honest. But if you're waking up, kind of have like a daily mindfulness practice of giving gratitude, connecting with your team, and then you're kind of setting, and I'm also, because I'm an energetic person, setting up an energetic vibration of being in harmony, joy, love, or above. We always want to be love or above. No matter what, our energetic vibration, we should try to be love or above if you can. Then as I'm driving to work, because I'm a very much like, I gotta get to work. I can't wait until I'm in a space where I can just do my, you know, I'm drinking my coffee, but I get impatient. So I'm always going. So I like to just get on the go. I'll imagine, because remember, energy follows intention. So whatever the intention that I'm setting, the energy is following it. So I'll imagine, you can stand outside if you aren't wearing shoes, whatever. Imagine an energetic root is coming from either from your feet or from where your root is. And just send it down, and have it connect with the heart chakra of Mother Earth. And, you know, give thanks, feel her love, feel that energy. Or maybe you see it, maybe you hear it, maybe you smell it, maybe you taste it. Whatever comes in for you for your best and highest good. Then you bring those roots back up. And now let's say you don't want to go through all your chakras. I always do root, heart, crown, up. So then I put it in my heart, but I put it in my heart center, located tip of chest, front of the sternum. And then I send it out to the crown. Woo, bye. And then I envision that cord. It could be gold, it could be silver, it could be white, doesn't matter. Whatever you feel resonates with you, send it up to source. So I'm like, go, bye. You know, like it's lighthearted, it's fun. It doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be complicated. This isn't like a 4 million step process. Anyone can do this, anyone can envision, even if you just close your eyes. And I'm going up. And then I'm connected with source. Thank you. And then I pull it back down. So then I'm really connected. So I'm connected. Now, protection. We always have to bring in protection, because people knowingly and unknowingly kind of send us energy, spears, you know, and because maybe they're in a bad mood, or maybe they got into a fight, because we don't know what other people are going through. You know, sometimes we assume that people are targeting things at us. They're probably not, but we can still pick up on that energy, because a lot of us are empaths and we're energetic beings. And remember, our spiritual layer, our energetic spiritual layer, is out 12 feet. So 12 feet around you, woo, think about all the people that are walking through your energetic field. So then what I do is,
well, before we get to it, if you go to a supermarket, someone gives you a hug, you even talk to somebody on the phone, or just think about them. Sometimes, depending on how open you are at that moment, you may be picking up on their energies.
Absolutely.
And I'll say it a different way. We're all a ball of light, if it's okay to put it that way. What will you allow for? Use your description. But Rachel Garrett in New York right now, AkashicAngels.com, AKASHIC, AkashicAngels.com. Peruse while you're listening, but make sure you go back and rewatch this, because she's about to meet like maybe Archangel Gabriel and Michael, because that's what I wanted to do early.
they're already here.
Yeah, but I'm going to hold photos up and you'll give us a couple messages for folks, and then we'll get right back to exercises. But what I wanted to ask was, can you repeat for us another simple way for us to view ourselves as energy first? Love, consciousness, balls of light. I mean, we're a system of everything. We're interacting with lots of energies all the time.
I guess the most simple thing is just remember, and I do want to go back to the practice. I want to go back to protection is important. So you can choose to either bubble yourself or column yourself. I go out 12 feet, I pull up a column of light. Doesn't matter whatever it is. I go in 8 feet, I pull up a column of light, and I go in 4 feet. Those are all crystalline, whatever resonates with you, and pull that up from earth, send it up to source, and then your physical body is protected. Another thing to do when you leave something, I work with Archangel Michael every single day. I love him. He's the best. Archangel Michael, please clear away any hooks, cords, attachments that are not mine and send them back to whoever they belong to. I also physically will wipe down my body. That's very simple to do. You leave a space, you're in the supermarket, just wipe down your body. Just wipe it down. That's clearing off the energy and it's sending back. A very inexpensive crystal use is selenite. Selenite's a little white stick. Put a circle on your floor of selenite and envision that selenite energy coming up, coming down, and cleansing your body. Now, you asked something else. Akashic Angels. I see my brain is like, oh, something simple, easy for that. We're all energy. Simplest thing is you're a soul residing in a human body. We're just a ball of light, like you said. We're just energy. We're atoms. We're just energetic bodies. And my biggest thing is I always say energy follows intention. I do not have to have the crystal in front of me. I do not have to have any sacred altar in front of me to use my tools. All I need is myself, and just I go into my heart. I shut off my mind. I don't have to necessarily shut off your mind. Just be like, imagine yourself, feel, sense, or imagine. And a lot of this stuff is imagination to start with. So if you're somebody who is, well, I can't feel it, I can't see it, I can't hear it, it's okay. I didn't either when I first started. You have to imagine it. And then but then it's like you start getting these like feelings, these tingly feelings. And another thing to do, work with your higher self. And the simple thing is there's a lot of tools. You can use a pendulum, you can use automatic writing, you can do oracle cards, whatever. A very simple tool that you can do is use your body. All right, higher self, show me in my body where my yeses are. Yes, 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 yes. Where in my body are my yeses, higher self? Oh, yeah, I can feel it's in here. It may feel like it's on the tip of your finger. It may feel like it's in your foot. It may feel it in the top of your head. Doesn't matter. Trust it. All right, higher self, where are my nose? No, 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 no. I feel it in the pit of my stomach. Ooh, and then it's where am I? It doesn't matter what you do. Just do what you want. And then higher self, is in my best and highest good to turn left? Is it in my best and highest good to turn right? Because your higher self has a bird's eye view of everything that's going on. And your higher self is going to know where you need to go and who you need to be connected to. So let's say your higher self is like, you're really hungry. You like to hike a lot, and you're out with your dog, and you go on this path, and you're like, oh, but this is a quicker way home. I want to go this way. And you tap in with your higher self, and they're like, no, Mike, you got to go this way. And you're like, but why? You're going to trust your higher self, because maybe on that thing you meet somebody who you have like a spiritual connection to. So that's another quick, easy way to work with, a spiritual being that's you in a higher form that has that bird's eye view of kind of the information in what you're trying to extract.
Rachel, you're a healer with patience, whether we're talking you as a nurse or you as a healer with all of us, because you are describing so many incredible things. You've got it down. We're fascinated. I can tell the audience, whether you're seasoned or it's the first time you've even heard of the word intuition, you've never watched Oprah, Super Soul Sunday, don't know who Gary Zukav is or Don Miguel Ruiz. But can I do this? Can I grab 2 photos to shake up the structure? 3 photos, actually, I lied. Let's bring in Joy as well. But 2 archangels and Joy just to shake things up. People don't have to wait to the end. Maybe you'll get a suggestion from them. And I know they're already coming in, but here's a photo of an angel named Joy, pink ball of light. She's the emotion Joy, high peppy voice. If people want to put their hand out through 2 screens, they can feel the vibe through 2 screens. It's just like the smoke. You don't have to worry about whether you're in New York or in San Antonio with us. But what are you getting from Joy for advice for us all? Or get a compliment, Rachel. Remember the visibility and you sticking your neck out for all of us. Get a huge compliment from Joy. And if you could, let's throw you under the bus and let's have you share that amazing compliment. What are you getting?
I get you know, that joy, 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 joy down in my heart, down in my heart. That's what I'm getting.
Okay, now what does she say right on for? You've covered a lot of topics, but what's the thing she's zeroing in on?
I'm getting be happy. I don't know.
That works. Okay, let me do Archangel Michael and Gabriel. So here's Michael.
They're my jam.
Yeah, and just if he wants to, through you, give us a couple of suggestions or reminders or just right on what you said.
So Archangel Michael, he is not just about safety. He's also about helping you to live your mission and also to have compassion with yourself. And he's also good about finding parking spaces.
Yes, 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 yes.
They all are.
Parking spaces. And another show that I taped with a beautiful guest, we were talking about bar stools. I've always had bar stools and parking spaces open up. But the weirdest thing was getting service at a bar in New York City for 20 years. I was invisible. I had that explained to me in a different way. That's a different matter. Okay, Archangel Gabriel.
Speak your truth.
Yay. And if you want to see the photo move, or extra light, or on the peripheral of your eyes, 5 inches away from the left and right of your eyes, or if you're bold out in front of you, you could see like glitter, sparkles, or full-on ribbons of light, like a ticker tape parade to celebrate you. But Rachel, give yourself permission to let go. Remember, you're in the business of helping us all let go.
Yes.
So what are you getting for a visual? Because I'm going to distract you with a lighter. There's a normal American Bic lighter. And
Bic lighters.
Yeah,
I'm already getting like pink light behind my screen. There's a wall behind me.
And earlier when you said you're like, oh, I don't know about putting my poker chips into the, the casino table with the seeing part of things, because you're like, well, at the pool, the water temperature, maybe it's cold. I don't know. I'm getting there. Yeah, I already feel like you're an Olympic swimmer, period. Okay, so I'm going to back up because we want to come right back to the exercises. But you had mentioned doing a first big step, getting out there to put yourself to the test. Can you speak publicly? And was it Moonstruck TV? What's the name of that?
Oh yeah, it was a 1-hour psychic radio, Moonstruck TV. And Dave,
how do people find it and check you out when you were taking a big leap?
If you go through YouTube, my channel is Rachel C. Garrett, and I have them all saved on there, or on AkashicAngels.com. They are saved on there. And I am grateful for the husband and wife team that leads that A1R Psychic Radio, and they are phenomenal. I have chills. They're phenomenal. They're very giving, and they're just amazing. And they're like, you're going live. And then it was funny because the gentleman, the producer, his name is Dave, and he'd be like, A1R Psychic Radio featuring Rachel Garrett from AkashicAngels.com. And I'd be like in the background, like, yeah. And then it was like, hi, everyone. Like, it was just, it really taught me to be comfortable and to be okay with what's the worst that's going to happen. I might slip a cuss word, the power might go out, I might lose connection. Like, it is what it is. It's life. And people enjoy kind of the fun nuance of not everything has to be produced and perfected. And, people want to see real human beings that are able to do this work and to kind of talk about a lot of crap that they had to go through to get to where they are now.
I love it. You have 2 shows that are on your channel on YouTube. The Spiritual Spotlight series, you've had a lot of wonderful guests. Thank you for having me on.
You were on it, and I got amazing compliments from it.
Oh, good. Yeah,
like,
I don't. Let's say people are too shy when it comes to online. Now, I'm one of those that I've just learned it's okay to hit the thumb, like the like button. So I'm going to take a moment to just berate in a happy, spiritual, from my heart sort of way. Hey, listener, viewer, Rachel is wonderful. This show is wonderful. Her Spiritual Spotlight series, YouTube, Rachel Garrett, RACHEL, Garrett with 2 R's, 2 T's. Go find her on YouTube. It's obviously going to be with this video, but Spiritual Spotlight series is 1. And it's me, not you is the other. And I love that title because it's really me. It's not you. And so go subscribe to anything you can for her stuff. Subscribe to this show. Please like this episode with her. And please put your comments in because we know she's either like a fighter pilot, an RN nurse, which she is, with a CCH designation, but she knows her stuff and she keeps calm and cool. Imagine what she does for you if you get in front of her, reach out to her. And real fast, we talked about raising rates, own your worth. Do you do consults for free for 15 minutes, or are you past that and you're book me and that's the only way you're getting me?
Do not do consults. I would much rather people book a session and go through a 30-minute or an hour-long session. I also have, I mean, there's a lot of videos on YouTube about, I have meditations, I have moon things. I have a free Facebook group where I do free readings every Monday, Find Your Badass Life Purpose. You know,
but how do they find you for Facebook? And obviously it'll be through your website and stuff like that, but spell it out for us.
If you just go on to Facebook, www.facebook.com/ my group is Find Your Purpose, and my Facebook page is Rachel. My face is here, and my page is Rachel C. Garrett, because there's another Rachel Garrett that was on the Star Trek thing, and she's famous, and she got to the Rachel Garrett before I did. So Rachel C. Garrett.
And the C is for cool as a cucumber.
C is for Clarice. Don't stand too close to the glass, Clarice. But it's a family name.
Oh, and if you were to have a t-shirt line or a mug line, like in other words, you've got mugs for sale. One of your core messages for us is love or above. Can we back up and cover that all over again? What do you mean by love or above? Where can we put ourselves?
So we all would benefit from being love or above. When you're in an energetic state of despair, sadness, anger, it brings you down and it weighs on you and embeds into your cellular tissue. It embeds into your mindset and embeds into everything that you're doing. So when you raise up your vibration, and that's with spiritual hygiene. So everyone should have a spiritual hygiene practice, meditation, mindfulness, affirmations, eating clean if they can, you know, trying to be a clear vessel. And it's really like having a real solid spiritual practice. And it's something that I work on a daily basis. Like right now I'm doing angelic light work. That's the thing I'm working on right now. And, you know, and it's like trying to really get in I'm a mom, I'm a partner. I run a doctor's office. I do this. So it's hard to like really commit to a daily spiritual practice. But I will tell you, once you get into that feeling of pulling up that vibration, it just makes you feel so much more expansive and light and bubbly. And I can be very, very serious. Like I can be very like, you know, and I try not to be, but it's something I have to remind myself. Okay, the fairies are with you. Let's go play. Let's go skip. Let's go dance in the rain. Let's go ground ourselves. Let's laugh. I love to laugh. I watched Chris Rock special before I got on this because that laughter, I love him. I love him. I love all comedy specials. Send them all to me. I love them all. Eddie Murphy, Nate Bargatze. I don't care. Send them all. I love comedy because laughter is probably the easiest way to raise up your vibration. Mike always tells these great jokes and it takes me a minute to get on, but I love them. And it's always like,
okay, we got to mention that joke because you're the first person that delayed a little. And I said it was my
slow.
I was like, what's the only flower found on the human face? And I'm like, tulips, but I said it more like tulips. And then I had to say it more like two lips.
And then I was like, because I'm trying to be in serious mode. I'm in interview mode. Thank you very much. And then I was like, oh yeah.
But that's how we started the show. And there was a lot of laughter going on. And I hopefully caught a little bit of it when I hit record.
Yeah. Always try to be love or above, you know, like love or above. And I want to say this too. Always try to take a minute to pull yourself down into your heart space. You know, really just like you say, take the shutters off, close your eyes, feel, sense, or imagine that I'm in my heart space. And then I'm pushing out all of this love.
But let's take a full 3 minutes. Let's go super slow for the person who is like, whoa, I'm getting it. It resonates, but I'm not sure I can take those steps. They're just up here a little bit. They're not sure. And how many times does a person have to do this? 100, 50, 25, and they start to get more comfortable till they can do it second nature, first thing in the morning. Take us through just real slow, like we're molasses. how can we drop down to our heart again? Rachel
Right.
Garrett's telling us.
So what I recommend doing is just closing your eyes, centering. All right, we're doing really slow. So I'm going to close my eyes. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take attention to my breath. I'm going to breathe in for 2, exhale out for 4. And that's kind of shutting down my nervous system. It's shutting down my brain. The other thing is try not to be distracted. We're always on our cell phones, on our computers, on our laptops. And I can do this all, yes, while being distracted. But if you're new to this, I recommend turning on. I listen to Holy Harmony on Apple Music. It's like a song that I always listen to, and it helps me to get in that space. And then it's automatic. And then I feel, sense, or imagine that I'm taking myself out of my mind and I'm dropping down into my heart space. And I'm feeling myself kind of taking, and it's really just taking your attention from here into here. And then I'm like, feel, sense, or imagine I'm in my heart space, located tip of sternum, front of your chest. It's a little bit different than your heart chakra. And then you're like, okay. And then what I do is, if for someone that's new to it, I may envision like maybe a ball of energy, like maybe Ariel's with us. So maybe she's giving you this pink bubble of energy for anyone that's listening right now, in the future, in the past, whatever, doesn't matter. Time's non-existent. And then you're taking in this ball of energy, and it's a big, beautiful, and then just pull it into that heart space. You always want to breathe with things, because the physical body is always the last to catch up with all of your energy bodies. So always remember, your physical body is the last thing to catch up with, you know? So you have to just always like, and I'm gonna say the biggest thing is being in breath, like taking nice expansive breaths, really deepening your breath. And it's like, I think it's called the 2 count breath. You breathe in for 2, exhale for 4, breathe in for 4, exhale for 8. And it's really kind of shutting this mind off. And I'll tell you this is a trick I use. Hello, ego. You are now my side seat passenger. You are now a conscious by namer. Hey, Betty's good for you, but Betty is a lot of mind chatter. So Betty, you need to sit over here, and my soul is going to take the lead. That's a real simple way, just kind of breath and just really sink down. And then I love like energetic meditations where I don't have to consciously listen to them, because our mind, like I said, our minds are always going. Like we could be thinking about, okay, well, later on today, I got to go shopping. I got to clean my floors. I got to. Once again, Betty, ego, you're going to go over here. Rachel's got to do some soul work. And then I'm focused. I'm in my heart space. And then when you really get into your heart space, look around, feel around, see what's going on in there. Maybe you got a lovely throne. Maybe you take out this crystalline flashlight and you shine it around. I feel that. Maybe there's some dust bunnies, that are in there. Shine that crystalline light. Infuse them with love and light. Transform. Maybe there's just some sticky energy. We're energetic bodies. There's sticky energy. There's always sticky energy. Shine that crystalline energy and really feel yourself expand more. Really feel that you're like, whoo. And then the easiest way to work with the angels, because angels are for everyone. Angels, please come to me now. You have to ask, because they're not going to mess with free will. Angels, please come to me now. You don't have to know their name. You don't have to know what they look like, because they all appear different to us. They're different sexes to us. They all feel different. Like you've got these beautiful pictures. I've got artwork. I've got tons of oracle cards, and they might not necessarily, for me, it feels like energy, good, juicy energy. And it's like, angels, please come to me now. And you can use angels for anything that you're doing. I want to have a safe trip. I want to find my life purpose. I want to bring in more abundance. I want to be in my heart space. I want to be love or above. Another thing you can do, listen to music. Like I said, listen to higher hertz music. Listen to higher music. Get some crystals. Like a good basic crystal kit: amethyst, citrine, selenite. What else? I'm looking around. Rose quartz. Rose quartz is great. And these are all inexpensive crystals. And then kind of start tuning into, okay, fluorite. Yeah, look at those. See, you got
There's
crystals.
rose quartz there
Yeah.
with a John of God, pre-prison John of God necklace.
See, rose, and this is an angel aura spirit quartz crystal with watermelon tourmaline, and it helps me to feel more connected to the angels. Now, do I if I want to Oh, this is unicorn. I have unicorn stone. This is Lemurian. Lemurian is really good. Now I can tell you ways to work with crystals too. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff I can teach you. So I want to say one thing. Fluorite is, there you go.
I love fluorite. Fun.
Yeah, I love it. So fluorite is all about focusing, but go ahead.
Here's citrine. If you do this, others watching will know that they can do it. It's just like the sage. It's just like some of the other exercises, the light or the angel cards, or just putting your hand out to feel through two screens. So anybody watching even 5 years from now in Brazil, if you don't mind, feel the citrine, my highest self only, my highest energy, if I'm getting in the mix at all. But it's a citrine, and let it talk to you. And what do you get?
I got more money, baby.
Okay, and then I've got two more. One's, I think it's got to be an artificial opal, or otherwise I can run off and sell it. But here's an opal, and let's do the same thing. And at home, just give yourself a break. Ask your higher self to help. Angels, take all those steps that Rachel suggested out of the brain into the heart, and allow, and then ask. Ask more.
Okay.
What'd you get?
I feel like this one's coming in as like compassion and knowing that you're going to be okay.
Ooh, nice. And then I've got I can't believe I'm remembering all the names, but lapis with a little bit of gold in it and stuff.
Lapis is good.
Yeah. So let me block me. There we go.
Speak your truth.
And oh, that's what you got. Good.
I will say, and think about, for anyone that is working with crystals, align, because when you're picking out crystals, and let's say you're maybe kind of the stuff we start with is chakra work, balancing your chakras. Look, find a crystal that corresponds with that chakra color, like blue for the throat chakra, and lay it on your throat chakra and allow it to do healing on your throat.
This is topaz.
It's beautiful. See, it's right on your throat.
Yeah. And so when I started to pop in 2010, 11, 12, somewhere in there, and I was in a panic. I mean, I swear I was the slowest learner, the slowest turnip in the tool shed, just to mix my metaphors. I had friends who were intuitive, didn't doubt them, got goosebumps, but didn't get it. And so I'm here to just tell everyone that you've got this. And Rachel's a great instructor for this. No matter where you are on your journey, she'll not just flash the flashlight with angels and help you. She'll hand you the flashlight so you can own your own flashing ability.
And
just trying to make you laugh.
I do want to say with spiritual teachers is we're here just to help you with the training wheels, and then ultimately you're going to ride the bike yourself. So we're here to kind of help you get the training wheels, to guide you, and then you're going to fly on your own. You're going to be ET up in the sky. Like
when I was kind of popping, I had tons of intuitive people do the L thing. I'd be walking through downtown Austin, and I call the L thing. They'd get a message from above and they'd tell you. And so whether I knew them or not, and I didn't know them as intuitive, I'm suddenly getting a lot of messages in like a 3-week period. I'm at a South by Southwest concert. Leah Ice is from Brooklyn. And the South by Southwest official photographer stops and is like, "You've got a lot of light coming off of you." And I'm like, whoa, I'm here to like really tune out humans and just listen. I don't want to talk to anybody. That, and then I remember buying a lot of onyx, tourmaline, because I was so worried. And I'm like, I gotta have protective. Those are the black stones, like lava rock, jagged. I bought a lot of that, but the crystal shop person was then one of my biggest influences, helping me out. I had a lifeline. And I'm going to mention something. Hopefully Rachel can cover this later about the ego again, and asking it to be in the back seat, that whether it's you, your higher self, your angels helping you to be in the driver's seat, to have more love, more openness. I was in a phase where, I taught this a little bit of just naming your ego. And anytime you talk to your ego, be gentle. It can give you a black eye, and ask it if it wants a hug is my tip, because it won't stick around. You'll have 5 minutes of a break from the ego. If you offer it a little bit of love, real love from the heart, and a hug, it won't stick around. I'm in my house in Austin, full cup of coffee, a Starbucks mug, 20 ounces. And I'm like, whoa, those aren't my thoughts. I'm a happy guy. Like, those are really heavy thoughts. And I was like, okay, I should use my own exercise. And I'm like, hello, Mr. Higglesworth. How are you today? Would you like a hug? And then every fire alarm in my house went off, top to bottom, everything. And I was like, put my mug down, didn't spill it. Had it been a year, 6 months earlier, I would have exploded that mug and been cleaning coffee drops for 2 years. But I called my South Austin person who's like my lifeline. I was like, what'd I do? And she's like, you were just a little too pushy and cocky. You should have been gentle. It would have been fine, but no problem. You know, all's good. And I was so freaked out. So for those getting started, can you just give us one more expression of how we don't even realize when we're doing thinking, we're up here. How do we get to the driver's seat? How do we enjoy the ride more?
Surrender and trust. And no matter what, you're going to be okay. And sometimes, you know, when things are really dark and things are really tough, like let's go through, you know, for me, my brother committed suicide. I was fired from my job. My house was put in foreclosure. Like it was a really dark time right there. And what did I do? I was like, well, I know there's something more. And I was already intuitive at this point, already doing a bunch of stuff. I got on my hands and knees and I prayed. And I was like, God, angels, universe, just give me a sign. Just give me something that I know you're with me. And then it was just like that inner knowing, and that almost like they picked me up by my bootstraps and they're like, I'm going to walk with you. We're going to go through this journey and we're going to go through it together. And that's for anyone that is struggling, maybe in the well, you know, maybe just thinking like, oh, how am I going to get through this? This is so hard. Just surrender and allow, surrender. And maybe like get out your journal, write out a prayer, you know, or and I don't want to say this isn't for any, like, let's say you don't believe in God, and that's okay. Maybe you don't believe in anything. Just know that you have an inner power within you. You have something within you that is powerful and that's divine. Just look into that and just, hey, write out a prayer, you know, please show me the way. Just show me the way. And then maybe seek out on YouTube, listen to this show, listen to, you know, podcasts or whatever, and listen to music, listen to something that's going to kind of get you out of that funk and bring you up. Yeah, it's going to take you from your mind into your heart. Listen to pop music, listen to rap, listen to heavy metal, whatever works, doesn't matter. Like I like 9 Inch Nails. Listen, I'm a 90s gal. So I like all that.
I did 9 Inch Nails way back in the day.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, 91, 92. Had like
doesn't matter.
all that.
Yeah.
But Grimes is one of my favorite, and oh my God, Small Black, which is still a little bit off the radar, but been around in like 10 or 12 years.
I love that. I'm now a folk music kind of gal, but I'll jam out to whatever. It doesn't matter. Music's music. I love Queen. I love Mumford and Sons. I don't care. I'll listen to it all. Both of my sons are musicians, so I'm very much like, I'm grateful that I have a lot of music in my life. So, but I'll listen to anything, and it doesn't matter as long as it pumps me up. I mean, that's probably the first thing I did, probably was listening to music. I kind of got into gospel music there for a bit, you know, which I love. Hezekiah Walker, yeah, love him. And he's like, I believe, you know, and it just really, that was a dark place and dark time, you know. And I just want to say that is that a lot of people are going through dark times. A lot of people, you know, we get in our minds so much that we get on this automatic driving. You know, we're in our day to day, and it's hard to break out of that routine. It's hard to feel that my life can be something more than what it is right now. A lot of it is just surrendering to the universe, knowing that no matter what, I'll be okay. And that's a big thing to ask somebody to take on. I'm going to be okay. Who are you to tell me I'm going to be okay? Who are you? It takes time to really develop that faith and that trust and that belief that I'm going to be okay. And I will say for anyone, it starts with mindset, limiting beliefs, really tapping into our mind, because our mind plays tricks on us. You look like you want to say something very serious.
The surrender, it's really about surrendering
control.
The flows, the thinking that says my situation is, my problem is, this happened to me. So instead of just reinforcing the existing, you're shifting everything to become not an artist, but much more, let's do it this way. I think it was Einstein, the consciousness that either created the problem, spots the problem, isn't the consciousness that resolves it, moves on, allows you to go to the next stage in life. So can you take us again through that shift, how, if anybody's worried about the word surrender, because there's so many ways we get hung up. We have so many values, all of us as individual human beings. One person likes sushi, the other person doesn't. So how do we again reconcile here to get to here to do this?
All right, I'm gonna say the first thing is maybe also just doing a little bit of learning. You know, like one of the first books I read was Power of the Subconscious Mind. You know,
Who wrote that one? Do you
oh
remember?
goodness, let's see here. Let me look it up. Power of the Subconscious Mind was probably one of the first, and it was heavy. It took me a long time to get through it. And let's see here, where is it? I know
Here, I'll do the looking up if you want.
he's gonna look. And really, like, I love yeah, I have tons of books that I love. I'm always reading. I'm always trying to expand out my knowledge and really try to like dig in and tap into things and understand things. Like I said,
Joseph Murphy.
yes. So it's a great book. It's heavy, it's meaty. It takes you some time to get through it, but I highly recommend people read. I also recommend that you read The Four Agreements. You know, that's a great book. Yeah, see, it's up there. Don't think things personally. Not everything's about you, you know? And then how do you so something easy to do, surrender. And surrender is a big thing. For me, I had to feel, sense, or imagine that I was in my heart space, and I had to go into silence. I had to quiet the mind and just say, all right, what's my next line action to take? Just give me one. Just give me one line action to take. For those that believe, give me my next divine line action. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe, you don't believe. It's whatever guides you. Give me my next aligned action to take. And then go into action. Because we go into stillness first. First and foremost, we go into stillness. And then we get the action steps. Because the divine whispers, you know, they're not going to get out a billboard and say, yo, what's up, Mike? This is what you're here to do. You know, it whispers, and it's you following and trusting that intuitive guidance that comes in by working with your higher self. And then going into action. If you don't go into action, that's where you get that's where you pause. That's where you pause. You know, that's where you're in the cement. You're in the quicksand. Remember when we thought quicksand was going to be a much bigger deal than it is? You know, you're in the quicksand. You're being stuck. You know, that's where you're like, okay, if I take that one step, I'm telling you, anyone that's listening, you start taking that one step, that one step goes into multiple steps, goes into you running, goes into that ball really going. And then you're like, you're going to look back 6 months from now, a year from now, holy moly, look at all the stuff that I did. And also give gratitude for everything that you've gone through, everything that you've learned, everything that you've opened yourself up to. A lot of intuitive people, we're skilled intuitive people and spiritual teachers. We don't give ourselves credits for everything we've gone through. And we don't acknowledge, you know, like, oh yeah, because we get hard on ourselves. We're like, oh, I should be doing this. Calm down, Rachel. I'm much more further up on the mountain. I'm just in the tree lines, you know, and that's the same for anyone that's listening. You're much further up on the mountain than you give yourself credit for. You're just in the trees, and it's okay. We might be in the trees for a long time, and I'm okay with that, but I might be on the peak soon. That's okay, because there's always learning to be done. There's always healing to be done. There's that, what is that quote? Life is like an onion. You peel one layer at a time, and sometimes you cry. You know, life is like that. That's what healing's like. That's what being intuitive is like. That's what working with the angels is like. There's always deeper layers to go. And honestly, I just want to say this, like, just, I'm always in my mind. I'm always thinking. When I get readings, it's funny because they're like, oh, your mind. So I'm like, God, thank you. Thank you. This is how I feel. God, help me. But I might light a candle. That's a good thing. Distract your mind. Light a candle. Hold a crystal. Maybe you need something physical. Write out a conscious letter and then just kind of shift in your mind and be like, I'm going to be okay. Get some essential oils. I work with oils. I work with crystals. I'm looking around my room. I work with so many different tools that help, just like you do, that help me get out of my mind and go into my heart. And then I know that I'm intuitively guided, you know, and it's knowing that no matter what, you have a lifeline. You might be on a lifeboat right now, but you have a lifeline. It's just a matter of you answering the call, like you said in the beginning, taking ownership of where you're at. A lot of it is like, okay, the things that happen to me are the things that happen to me. I am not going to blame anyone else for the things that I've gone through. I'm going to take ownership of my part in this because everything is just a mirror. We always model right behavior, and it's always being mirrored to us. The things that trigger inside of you are the things that you need to work on. All right. If I get into an argument with someone and I'm triggered, that's a sign you got to work on that. because we have to, we're going off here. You have to balance the light with the dark. You have to work with the light with the shadow. And that's where we get balanced and we get integrated.
Let's say that again a different way, and let's slow it way down for the
Slow
person.
down.
Like, no, you're doing great, but there's folks out there who are like, ooh, I need to hear that again, because now they're thinking immediately about that argument or that person or the conflict or the job problem. And they need to understand that their own energies can bring in anything. And if stuff's happening to them, it's really not my situation is my problem is. It's an opportunity for growth. Go over this one more time slowly so that a person can take a couple concrete steps, surrendering, letting go, lighting a candle, breathing, and shifting.
Okay. Think of yourself in a building. All right. I'm in the middle level. All right. You can get to the top of the building or you can get to the basement. No matter what, you have to work within that entire building. I have to work with all the floors. So I need to work with the darkest, dungiest place of me, and I got to work with the brightest light of me. Ultimately, we all have free will. We all make choices. So we have to make conscious choices. And it's not like, oh, it's just going to happen. No, you have to decide. And that's the first step. I'm choosing to take my role in this life. You know, we want to live life to its fullest. We want to have an amazing life. I'm choosing to live life to its fullest. I find myself to be very self-reflective. When I've been a supervisor for a long time, and I was young and immature, and I had to look at myself because I was not a good manager. I'm a great manager now, but I wasn't. And I had to look, well, what was that? You know, and I had to work through those things. So a lot of it, a basic way, once again, you're in the building, I'm in the middle floor. In my basement is where I have not been very friendly, where I have treated people with disrespect. It's my shadow side, it's my darkness, and the darkness needs to be pulled up to the middle of the building. Well, up here is where all the juicy stuff is. It's working with the angels, is working with my ascended masters, is working with divine, it's working with spirit. And they're teaching me these beautiful messages of healing and how to let go and how to surrender. And then you pull it all down to the middle. And that's where I'm integrated and that's where I'm whole. Because I've acknowledged that there's things that I need to work on. We all have things that we need to work on because we're not perfect people. Go back to my Catholic high school where I'm a sinner, you know, and then I got to get it to the middle. And then it's just honestly saying like, and also give yourself like, what is that? Ho'oponopono. I love you. I thank you. I forgive you. And really allowing yourself to forgive yourself for the things that you've gone through. Like, oh, I treated this person rudely. I acted like this. And just say, take ownership. I'm sorry. Be okay with saying you're sorry, but mean it. Don't be a jerk and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, Mike. You know, like really, truly feel into it. I'm really sorry I did this to you, and allow that energy to go. So really simple thing. Again, you're in the building. I'm on the middle level. I got to work with all the floors, you know, and then you got to work with the darkest, grossest parts of yourself, and you got to work with the light part of yourself. And that's where I feel like sometimes we spend a lot of time in the highest and we don't spend a lot of time in the dark. And it's really important that, especially as intuitive people, that we integrate them both. And like I said before, is that, like you said before, was that something happens and you get triggered and you have a reaction. It has an emotional component to it. The only person that you're allowing that to happen to yourself. So I'm mirroring right behavior to me, just like you're mirroring right behavior to me, you know, and vice versa. So when something happens and I get triggered, like, oh, that person cut me off and I did this, I have to like say, okay, what did I go through in my life that's happened? What's been a situation? What did I do? What did I do? What have I gone through? Oh, well, you know, and that's where you tap in and then you acknowledge it. You give permission, you forgive yourself, you forgive the other person if you can. And forgiving doesn't mean that, well, I let it go and I'm not going to remember, because we all go through things and it's like, oh, forgive the others. And people get hung up on that. You know, it's okay to forgive people and to release the energy, but don't forget what happened, you know? So then you forgive them. And then it's like, oh, then you're not going to be triggered by those moments anymore.
So if I'm Joan in South Africa, Marie in Italy, and you know, Barbara in Greece, listening, watching this, I want to take that step right now. So
Yeah.
you're in their shoes.
Yes.
You take us through like 3 basic, what exactly they would do. They could light a candle, sit still, do whatever, but what do they say from their perspective right now, so that now you're guiding them, literally telling them step by step, those 3 steps, they're going from here to here, and a whole bunch of fresh air comes in. So concrete action steps.
I would recommend that you turn on some music, turn on some, whatever music, it makes you happy, makes you feel lighthearted. Maybe turn on some music. You should get into like a sacred area where you can do your work if you can. Maybe light a candle to, I don't really use a lot of candles, to be quite transparent, but I mean, I'm finding that I'm using candles more and more because I like them. Maybe light a candle just to stare at, to look at. Maybe hold a crystal. And then once again, just drop into your heart space. There's a lot of meditative practices. There's a lot of apps that you can use to kind of like get yourself more skilled. And then it's like, and then it becomes second nature, and then you're doing it on your own. So it's very much okay, it's a conscious choice, number 1. And then it's really like, it's almost like manifestation. When you want to manifest this big vision of your life, well, you have to like throw out a big vision. And then I always recommend people to go beyond that vision, because we limit ourselves in our big vision. Go beyond.
So instead of thinking of a fight with Belinda at work, I can think of all my relations with people and envisioning a smoother path. Go big.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Go big. Like, I'm not.
But what are the words that literally, like, I'm Sarah in South Africa and I've got a Belinda at work that I just had a fight with. Give me like 3 one-liners that I can employ, and I say it out loud. I say it through my heart. I do both. How can I own the moment, own the action, and ditch the negative?
I would say, God, angels, universe, please allow me to release this energy that I'm holding right now. Something very simple. God, angel, universe, I forgive myself in this moment. And the thing is, I want to say this. It doesn't have to be a 1-word sentence. You have to feel the feeling. Maybe it's shame. Maybe it's anger. Maybe whatever it is. Because when we don't acknowledge, we can say all the things that we want to say. But when we don't feel into that and then actively release it, and it's just a matter of, I'm allowing it to bubble up. You're like allowing it to come to the surface, you know? And then it's like this morning I was feeling sadness. And it's like, but I allow it to come up. I might cry. And that's okay. Crying is great. It's all about releasing. And then you let it go. And you just like, angels, please take it away. Archangel Michael, please take it away. Please, I surrender to you. I surrender this trouble to you. Even when you go to church, what did they say? Give us your worries. Give us your cares. God, take it. God, I'm ready. God, Jesus, whomever, Buddha. Buddha's coming in a lot in this and during this talk, because I always think of a sitting Buddha, you know, in stillness. Buddha, you know, and just be like, and then also remember, not everything's about you. And also think like, this is another thing to say, is that, do you really think you're that special that God, angels, in the universe are going to choose to not work with you? Do you think they're going to pinpoint you out and say, I'm not going to work with you, Rachel? No, you are not that special. They're going to work with all of us. All we have to do is ask. And then just say, Ariel, take my worries, take my care, whatever. It doesn't matter. You can come up with whatever affirmation, mantra, prayer that you want to. And then you're able to kind of like, God, I always do, God, angels, universe, show me the way for my best and highest good. If it's not this, it's something better, you know? And it's like, also, don't get stuck on the outcome, because the how is not our responsibility. The making the intention and then taking divine aligned action, that's our responsibility. The universe is responsible for the how. And then you allow it in, you open up your heart. Oh, thank you, God. We always want to be in an attitude of gratitude. I know I say love or above. For me, it's also an attitude of gratitude. When you're in that feeling of, I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm telling you, so many things change in your life. So many things change in your life. Yeah, God, angels, universe. Show me the way. Show me the way. And who cares? I don't even care. Like, sing a song, do whatever you want. Like,
what about a big Rachel Garrett smile to seal the deal on the request? There we go. Because you have a great smile.
Oh,
and then the laugh right after that.
Always laugh.
I have so many reactions going on. And oh, when you were talking about letting your feelings out,
Yeah.
I think it was 3 Native American chiefs, Don't Knife Richard Geronimo, said to me like 9 years ago, feel what you feel, do not judge. So it's a way
Absolutely.
to just move
Be
on,
comfortable with
acknowledge, but
yourself.
okay, here's Buddha for you. And if
Love
you
Buddha.
would, you can allow for extra golden light. We talked about you put a tiny little obstacle out that you've already gotten by 5 times today in the show. But the idea of like, well, maybe I'm not the best seer, as you would say. And everyone out there has unlimited potential, and we all do. And you teach this, and I love it. But here's Buddha. You can put your hand out and feel beautiful golden light. You can see it on the corner of your eyes, whatever I'm trying to say, in the room or beyond me. It doesn't matter. Hear extra wisdom coming in, and if you could share it with us, that'd be just so fantastic.
So I always get with Buddha is that you have to surrender to stillness, be still, and then it's going to laughter.
Is this that belly laughter thing, the
It's
full
very
laugh?
like a sitting Buddha. Like a sitting Buddha is very much like jolly and full of love, but knows it's interesting. Know when it's the right time to take action.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, you've got Joy, Michael, Gabriel, and Buddha right now. Why don't you just ask them to bring you a little gift? It could be a smell of some sort that's wonderful, a little hands on your shoulder, energy. But then if it could be just like one more line, you're doing so well in talking to us about all of this. What do they have for you to say out loud? A little reminder.
Everything you need is within yourself.
I love it. Can you say that one more time so I take my clapping out for the clip that this is going to be in the future?
Everything that you need is within yourself. Power's within. You don't need anything else but yourself and a desire to know what's out there.
Love is within. I love
Love
it.
is within. Love is
Good.
within.
How about Audrey Hepburn?
Woo!
Is another figure, and I got this.
It's funny as you said that. Archangel Haniel just popped in, and she's all about grace and poise.
And yeah, Audrey's. There's an angel named Grace, who's like rainbow light, but so that's taken. But Audrey's kind of half Grace. She's in that cabal of joy, harmony, faith, hope. Who else? There's a Presley, is the interconnectedness of all, so she didn't get an easy billing. Joy is joy, faith is faith, hope is harmony is harmony. Presley is the name of my cat. And she came in writing in on Elvis Presley movies. She's like, it doesn't matter how you spell it. So here's Audrey Hepburn. She's half Grace, half Sparkle in the moment. People can let this photo move. A wink, a smile, the eyebrow goes up, shoulder waggle, the hands move. Rachel's gonna allow, ask more, be in your heart, and let the universe do its job. Angels do their job. What do you have for us all around here, Rachel?
Don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to go within, and don't be afraid to like really hone in on who you are. Oh. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to take up space.
Stick your elbows out. I had to learn that early on. I had moved 25, 42 times or 45, depending on how you kind of move. East Coast, military parents, jobs, schools, whatever. And so I never viewed an apartment, a house, a dwelling as like my space. I guess I'm the only person on the planet who didn't figure this out. So I did a survey says, because early on I had kind of a shaman figure come in who had to kind of kick me in the head to be like, dude, you need to cook in your house. You need to grow flowers, put paintings and pictures up on the walls. You need to live, because I was in New York City for 20 years. You're sort of the rat race and it's up here. You're running around. And part of the ownership of this was everything you've been talking about, just breathing more, slowing down more, living more, sensing, feeling, not judging. And so this is a learning curve and everyone's good where they are. Remind us again about no limits and how when you're here, it's smoother sailing.
We are limitless beings, and we can trust that no matter what, we're multi-dimensional beings. We're living multiple timelines at once. We're living off planet, on planet, everywhere, all at once. One thing you can always do is I call back all parts and pieces of me anywhere. I'm another time, space, dimension, reality. Whenever you really want to click in and get grounded. And just knowing, once again, I say this a lot, these desires in my heart, and they're big visions. They're not put in my heart because they're just, oh, you can't have that. No, these are meant to come true. And it's my responsibility, my path to really own it and to move forward on it and just be like,
What are 3 shareable things inside that's energy that are your desires or your goals, or, you know, Dreamtime brought it to you, angels brought it to you during nighttime classes, whatever. What are 3 directions that you don't mind sharing? If you're at a cocktail party and someone's like, hey, what's going on for this year, next year, and the year before, you know, after, what are 3 that you can publicly put on the show right now, stick your neck out and stick your elbows out and be like, this is my space. I'm Rachel Garrett in New York, and it's AkashicAngels.com, AKASHIC angels.com. We buy time for her to center, focus in, hone in on those 3 things. What are those 3 directions you want to go?
Big things. Spiritual Spotlight series is continuing to grow. I've got some amazing guests that have been on and that are coming on. And it's on all podcast channels. You can listen. You can say, Alexa, play Spiritual Spotlight series by Rachel Garrett, and my Alexa's going to go off.
I'm not kidding. It's on 20. It's on Castro. It's on Listen FM. It's on Google Podcasts. It's on Apple. It's on literally every feed. Like I literally broke down it. I think was it yesterday? I think I updated my website with all the buttons and the links, so you can get there. So if you get to my website, michaelandreford.com, you can go to the show page, Michael as a guest. She's at the top. All those buttons, depending on how you like to receive it, or just go to akashicangels.com or go to YouTube, and she probably has a link over from there. Subscribe while you're at YouTube. Her YouTube channel, she needs subscribers, and I'm going to light more sage. So let's, oh, you've got 3. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Let's see here. Second thing. It's so funny. I have a lot of things that I'm working on, and I'm grateful for the things that are coming. And I want to say that I'm probably going to be shifting into, it's funny, this having a conversation with Mike. I originally was going to be working on a course. Now I've pivoted, and I'm working on a book that will hopefully be coming out relatively soon. It's to help people no matter where they're at in their spiritual journey.
Oh, I love it. Hey, catch some sage smoke to just sign that one off, because I'm excited for it.
Check mark.
Yeah. And can I get one angel just to cough up the goods on that book? Because it's already technically written above. Don't tell anybody you wrote it in 2 days, which you won't, but maybe 5 days. Here's joy to hear about your book ahead of time. Let's give it a plug, even though we don't have a title just yet.
Oh, I already have the title.
Okay, what can you, well, don't share the title, but share the gist of it.
It's really about owning where you're at in the spiritual journey, and it's giving you tips and tools to move forward on it.
Okay, and what's Joy say about this book?
It will be a handbook and a roadmap for anyone that's going through a spiritual awakening.
I heard roadmap for the heart. I love that. And last little bit of sage so I don't smoke myself out of my office.
And then the other thing is that look for more things to come.
That's a teaser.
I don't know. It's interesting because the Spiritual Spotlight series, I love doing it. And I also have It's Me, Not You. I love that other podcast. I have 2 hosts on it, Jake Paul and Melissa Neely, who are also spiritual. They're both mediums, and they're amazing, and they're just funny. So, and they're both kind of like going off in their own lane. But I've recently started a new thing, The Beauty of Gray, with 2 other people, and they're both witches, because witchcraft can be a little interesting. And yeah, so
you're seeing how that goes.
More to come. I love it. We just did our second recording yesterday, and really talking about, like, the biggest thing about me, if anyone wants to know about me, I'm all about demystifying things and making things accessible. You know, I really want to pull back and say, look, you can read the records, you can do energy healing, you connect with the angels, you can do witchcraft, you can work with the crystals. I love breaking it down and making things easy to use. That's probably Rachel in a nutshell. I don't care what it is. I want more.
So no matter the background, no matter the philosophy, the religion, no philosophy, total blank. No matter the situation, the problems, the level of problems, I got a whole Hoover Dam worth of stuff that I need you to work on. I can get to you, book a session, and this is what you tackle. But more importantly, you help empower the folks to own what they got.
Yes, 100%. I'm all about, these are the gifts that are coming forward for you. this giving you, a lot of people need just a cheerleader, you know, like a reminder of, hey, I am divine. I am a goddess. I am powerful. I am a god. I am shifting mindset. No, I am. And then I help you to kind of tap into that energy, pull forward your people, your guide, your team, and send you on your way. A lot of people come back.
So look, you sound totally unsure, not confident, and you don't know what you're doing. I'm totally being facetious. This is amazing to hear you own it, put it out there, and that vibration, I think, comes right through. Can you tell us more about how we all should just, again, take confidence in walking our path? That yes, life is ebb and flow, and there's a lot of ebb sometimes, but how do we focus more on the flow? How do we know it's going to be okay? This is a big message you have for all of us.
You know what's funny? I'm going into work mode. Trust but verify. You know why? Because you know what I mean? It's like trust but verify. Trust that no matter what, you're going to be okay. But verify the signs and symbols that your guide, your team, your loved ones are sending to you. Like,
What signs though? Have you had angels, like the truck went by at the right moment? You're sitting in a four-way stop sign. No one's behind you. You've sat there for 10 minutes because you're like, I need a sign from the universe, and a moving truck goes by.
It's and okay, I want to say I like assigning symbols. So for me, it's rainbows. I'll be like, spirit guides, show me a rainbow. And it's like a rainbow will appear, or I'll see a rainbow, or I'll see this. There's animals. So animals for me are big. Deer, foxes, hawks, eagles. It doesn't matter. Like, and then just Google, what do hawks mean as a power animal? What do, this mean as a power animal? And also for a lot of us that have our blinders on, kind of just be like, show me a sign, but make it visible to where I'll understand it and I'll know it when I see it, because a lot of us are like, well, that dime in my dryer wasn't, sorry, I'm being no, for me, dimes are huge. Dimes are from my grandma, but if they're in a weird spot, it's from my angels. They'll send me like, here's a sign from an angel right now that's come up. It's just a little tiny angel feather, and it's just like, it's a reminder to me to be like, hey, what's up, girl? And then for me, it's just, like I said in the beginning, I'm feeling. So it's a feeling of allowing that energy to come in and just be like, just feel me with unconditional love. I just need to feel love and just feel it come in. That's it.
But you have to put yourself out there. And by that, I just mean here. You got to get out of all the reasons why you can't make a request to the universe. It's far bigger than we think. But make your request. Get used to sticking your neck out and being like, hey, angels, I could use a little pick-me-up.
Yeah.
Or humor.
And this thing, that's like you said, angels, guides, teams. We all have a spiritual team. We all have guides. We can all work with the angels at the same time. It doesn't matter. They're not going to be like, well, Rachel, Mike currently is in line before you. No. Like, I'll say, Archangel Gabriel, please come to me now. Please help me to speak the words that I need to speak so people can hear what I need to say in a way that resonates with them. So it's kind of getting those inner mantras that you can. Archangel Michael, please come to me now. Please cut away any hooks, cords, attachments, and send them back to wherever they belong to. And I watch too many scary movies. Not as many as I used to. Yeah. But I'll get scared and I'll be like, and I know it's my own, like, okay, fear, false expectations appearing real. That's fear. I'll say, angels, grid my property, grid my doorways, grid my hallway, grid my mirrors, just surround, protect me, guide me, just protect me. And then it's like, shoo, feel them come in. Energy follows intention. If I set the intention, even if it's in my heart, I don't have to say it out loud. If it's in my heart, the energy's going. That's the biggest thing. Trust that that's my dog saying hello. Trust that your intention is set and the energy is going to follow it.
I can remember back, like I mentioned, there was a person who told me to cook, put pictures up on the wall. I can also remember I was hiring people to clear my property because I was seeing a lot, hearing a lot, grabbing everybody by the lapel, what's going on. I mean, I've seen a bunch of angels have come in today just during the show, like little white balls of light streaking by saying everything's awesome, good job. But back then, like, to clear a property, I didn't think I had it in me
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I got to trust an expert. And that's what I think Rachel can help you out on, is get much more comfortable. If you do something 100 times, by the 20th time, you're at least giving yourself a break and you're starting to feel it. But I had to give this example. They grabbed that bundle of sage, the whole thing. Like for me, I don't even use that whole bundle in a year. But this guy's like the Julia Childs of that cook person from the 70s, 80s. He
Like,
just grabbed the whole bundle. No fear. It looks like he's holding a whisk if he's a chef in the kitchen. He just lights that sucker on fire and starts at the corner of my property. It looks like he's done this a million times. He gets around before he closes it off. He asks like a 12-year-old to come over and put her hand out and does a before and after. And then I get to come over and I'm kind of like, is my hand working? And he seals the property. I mean, the before and after for the 12-year-old, it's like tasting sushi that is good sushi. She's like, oh yeah, that was done. I get it. And I'm like, yeah, I think I can get this. I'm like testing my hand later. Does my hand feel? And later, now you can feel with your hand. So go to any of the photos, go back, watch this again. Put your hand up with Rachel's permission. Put your hand up only the highest intent, love only. Feel her vibe. Can you put your hand up for folks for a 30-second? Breathe, everybody breathe. Give yourself permission, ask your higher self to come in. Have Rachel give you the advice on how are you going to put your hand up and feel her vibe, and have her walk you through it.
All right, so I'm going to ask everyone to drop down into their heart space. Feel, sense, or imagine you're down in your heart. And we're going to go a little bit different. I want you to imagine that there's a gold energy cord coming up from your heart, and it's going to go through your throat, going to go out to the crown, and we're going to send it up to the angelic realm. Whew, I can feel it. See it go up, 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 up. And I want you to connect with Archangel Ariel. Archangel Ariel is all about living your soul's mission, and really about, she'll really energetically align you to soul's mission. And what you're going to do is you're going to tap into her love and know that the angel's love is going to be 10 times stronger than the love you sent to her. And really just connect in with that. That's how you heart link with the angels. And just allow that energy to come in. I can feel it all the way down in my feet. I feel a lot in my feet. And then just say thank you. Thank you. And just feel, sense, or imagine that you're really connecting in with that beautiful golden heart link of energy. And trust and allow and receive. Trust, allow, receive. Trust, allow, receive. I'm just saying thank you. And now we're going to disconnect and pull it back in.
And with your permission, can I put my hand out and we'll both feel each other's energy? I'm doing my left hand. I'm holding the citrine in my right.
All right, fine. We'll hold my unicorn storm.
We're going crystal.
That's fun. I feel bubbles.
Good. And you can see bubbles wherever you want. Here's the way I put it. The ego is going to want to block everything and put the kibosh on it. If you're starting to have a block party, forget about that. If you're having a garden party in the back, it's like, hey, get off the lawn. It doesn't want you to have fun, liberation, or to celebrate. Especially like you just did great opening up, being in your heart. You do it all the time. But that's why sometimes, like if you're trying to see, don't even try. It'll be the peripheral that angels reach you, and you're going to get glitter. Or you're going to get it like where the ego can only block a little 10 degree angle of your vision. The rest will stay open. So allow, and don't take any of it too seriously. Don't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Okay. What are the 3 tips, though, for us to go about out in society, the workplace, a mall? We're picking up energy all the time. Again, some of us are super sensitive. Just a hug can mean we pick up all the Samsonite luggage of someone else. How do we view this? Like, we do great for a couple of days, and then we don't even realize that our mailman, just by being in proximity, chatting, and they were having a hard day, all of a sudden we're in a spin. How do we recognize the energy flows?
Well, one, you may feel fatigued. You may feel off balance. You may feel ungrounded. And then that's where the spiritual hygiene practices come into place. You always want to ground and protect. You always want to ground and protect, no matter what. And then just really like think about your tools. What are your protection tools? Why I wear a bracelet? I wear a necklace. I call on the angels, whatever it is. Ground and protect. You always want to be protected. We don't want to just be an open vessel of, no. I mean, because love can come in. A lot of, like you said, people are very empathic. So when you start to feel a little, oh, I'm really tired, or that's not my thought, like you said, and you said before, sense is this me or is this someone else? Is it me? Well, I'm good right now. I'm feeling anxious. That's not me. Send it back to whomever it belongs to. All right. And then just once again, ground, protect, and then cleanse. So when you don't feel like you're 100% in your body, or you're feeling off, you feel tired, you feel sluggish, anxiety, you feel fearful, but you know you're good. Like, hey, I'm feeling this once again. Is this mine? No, it's this person's. Okay, thank you. I'm sending it back. Maybe you give a push of love with it. Sending it back, and I'm going to cleanse. Always cleanse yourself. Always, always, always cleanse yourself. Either you spray stuff, you do oils, you light sage, you get Palo Santo, whatever you feel.
Water? How about just water?
I will tell you, you know how you sound vibrations, the higher sound vibration, that cleanses instantly. So if I take those 2 little bells, cleanses instantly. Doesn't have to be hard work. Yeah, you got them. See, it's instant. Sound healing is instant. If I want to cleanse that's a quick, easy way to cleanse your crystals. Ding, you know, and it's also like, okay, gone, bye. And also just tell yourself, anything that's not mine, send it back. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated. This work is not complicated. We overcomplicate it, and there's people that make it unattainable, and there's gatekeepers, and this is not an unattainable thing. We are all connected to source. We're all
just get started like anything else. Like pretend you're worried about your lawn work. You've never started gardening. Pick some hobby physically that you knew. And then 3 months later, you're like, whatever, I do that all the time. It's not even an issue anymore. I do it unconsciously. That's all this is for those who are like thinking any of this is a big deal. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal when you're here. It's totally not a big deal if you can get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, tools, get some oracle cards, get some crystals, go to a spiritual shop and be like, and just really like feel in and be like, oh, you know what? I really like this crystal. And then Google, ask the shop owner, what's this for? You know, oh, it's for this. Or I Google everything. Or I ask one of my friends, because yes, I'm a certified crystal healer, but my brain cannot take on the capacity of memorizing every single crystal that's known to man. So I'm going to say, okay, and Google it, and then start working with it. Really start working with it. Or you work with your oracle cards. I'm a certified angelic medium. I'm also a certified oracle card reader. And that was probably one of maybe the first things I got into was like oracle cards, because they're good tools. See, you've got some nice quartz.
Apophrolite? I forgot how to say it.
See, I'm going to Google that next.
Super shiny, and I never know how to pronounce it, but it's even above.
Love it.
Like it's high vibe, and it's just, it's my favorite. But go ahead and put your hand out and do a little, like, it'll talk to you.
I love it.
What'd you get for us?
Well, it's telling me to connect with, oh, that's interesting, the Brotherhood of Light. That's a different stage.
Okay.
One thing, if you guys want to, there you go. See, just ding those. You want to cleanse your crystals? Ding them. That's the fastest way to cleanse yourself, to go into a different energetic state. If you want to,
you mentioned about thinking. I got to mention this real fast. This is about 25-30 minutes ago, but you mentioned about thinking and how, remember quicksand and getting stuck. There's a chapter in one of the books that I did at this end, but it's really Angel's doing a lot of it, called Concrete Thinking. And I had gotten done writing it, and I had just started my Twitter account. And I had Angels have the funniest sense of humor. I had a tweet, a like of my tweet. This is like 2012 or 2014, 2013. I had an Italian concrete manufacturing company randomly from Italy like my tweet. But when you read what their little byline is, it's like concrete manufacturing company in Italy. And so my entire chapter was called Concrete Thinking, because every time we judge another person, we judge ourselves. It precludes reality. Things can change like that. And so I call it concrete thinking. And that's what, that came up a while ago, but I had to share it. Angels have a wonderful sense of humor. I'm not even sure that company knows it unfollowed at some point, like 6 months later, but how do you explain that? There's so many little like synchronicities, as you mentioned, randomness.
There's just trust that the universe and divine is always sending you symbols and signs. And you can go down a rabbit hole and really get like a little like, oh, there's always balance with things, but there's always like, Like even when, like, let's say you're trying to teach something and you stumble on it, it's meant that that person is not ready to receive that message. So it's very interesting. Our team is always working with us no matter what. Like they're always working with us. They're guiding us, they're directing us. I sometimes I get held up on there's no such thing as coincidences. Like it's all mapped out. But yeah, there's a lot of there's yeah. I'm like,
But you're not shy about telling people where they're at, what you're picking up on, relaying what guides and angels are saying.
wait. I respect free will. I am not going to go up to you in the supermarket
Oh
and say,
no.
"Hey, if you want to come to me in session, or you're in my group or whatever, you've given me permission. I always ask for permission first. So, because I'm not an open vessel. When I'm at the store, my boundaries are up. I'm good. I'm not reading for you. So, I just want to say that. Sorry.
Yeah, when I get out and about, at least I did when I was in Austin and I'm at a bookstore. I've mentioned this before. I'll see someone and I get a ping on them sort of, and I'm supposed to help them, but I'm like really into looking at my book section. I'll even switch. I'll go from like war history to murder mysteries. When I switch sections, they show up again. And I usually find that I have 3 shots. And by the third, I've warmed up to, okay, this isn't about my time anymore. I'm supposed to help. But the thing I had to learn the hard way was, they throw a hug on you half the time later and they're like, oh my God, that was so amazing. Thank you. I feel changed. And when you get the hug, if you haven't set up your boundaries, it's just like pick up all their Samsonite luggage. I go home. And then once again, my fire alarms go off. The house usually is like 1% conscious and it just says, hey, time to clean, throw a window open, get the energy that doesn't serve out, because it's like a Hoover vacuum situation. And it doesn't have to be.
I have a lot of grids in place. I have a lot of crystal grids, energetic grids. I have copper rods. I have a lot of energetic protections put up in my house. And that way, when I come in, things are automatically, it's like you go through like a filtration system.
It's awfully hard for negativity to want to hang out and stay. Not going to happen.
No.
Oh, okay. What is your favorite? Do you have any movies or other books? A couple more books, a couple more movies. What are some baby steps people can take just to start to explore more?
You know what? Start with The Secret. Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. That's a great book for getting started. The Secret is a great book. It's very I like the movie better than the book because they bring in all those spiritual leaders and spiritual teachers. And I will tell you, that's the first step of using the law of attraction. That really you can go into is the Secret. Other great books, there's so many. The Dark Side of the Light Chasers by Debbie Ford. She's really good about working with your shadow side. She has since passed, but she is a lovely, beautiful author. And I would recommend just get a book that calls to you. Like maybe you're interested in the Akashic Records. Well, what's that about? Find an Edgar Casey book. Get a Linda Howe book. Get a Maureen Saint Germain book. Whatever it is. Maybe you like crystals. Pick up a crystal book. I've got tons of crystal books. Maybe you're interested in herbs. I think her name is Rosemary Gladstone. I could be
no pun intended there.
I know. She's amazing. She's got this herbalist course. She's in Vermont. Phenomenal educator. There's so many. Theta healing. I'm all about energy. So like theta healing, I got into a lot of stuff.
Okay, but describe theta healing and why is it different than IET?
Theta healing is a different mind. It's a different wavelength. You're going up to the highest vibration. You're kind of shifting your mind into theta healing. And then you just download these energetic alignments that go right to you and they go right into your cellular tissue. And what I envision these alignments and with IET is that the universe is putting in these beacons of light, like beep, 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 and it's calling these things to me that are part of my soul's purpose. It clears out what's blocking it. And it really I just see it as like little beacons of light, like, hey, Rachel, it's coming.
Can we have a fairy say it a different way? Here's Ginger the fairy.
Ginger fairy.
And can we have Ginger just recap what you said, and you'll do the recapping by listening to her?
What is this? I'm like getting songs today. It's very fun. I'm just getting back. Okay, so with I'm going off here. So with manifestation, you have to be grounded. If you guys want to manifest anything, you have to be grounded on earth. You have to be really grounded. And the fairies are really good about, one, raising your vibration, and two, about grounding. So you have to be grounded in order to bring things into your physical reality.
So what's Ginger's advice for us all?
That's interesting. Look for, I'm getting like, look for the rainbows. Look for the flowers in the winter. Look for the hidden messages that maybe you're really like, fairies. I love working with fairies. I also like working with the elves. Like, they're all about bringing things in from the earth into your physical reality. So when you want to manifest things, they're all about bringing it up from the earth into your physical reality. The thing about fairies is you got to give thanks to them, and you got to honor them. So leaving them little trinkets, because they can be spicy. Make sure to leave them gifts. And the elves are amazing about bringing in energetic vibrations. Like I said before, I don't have to have the physical amethyst. I can call on the energetic vibration of that amethyst and really pull it into my, like, let's say I have a magnesium deficiency. I can pull in that energetic essence of magnesium and push it into your system. Being a registered nurse, yes, I can kind of tap into that stuff.
But if there's no limits and everything's energy, it would make sense that we go beyond what thinking dictates,
yes,
to a broader possibility.
Yes. Yeah. I just watched that movie. Okay, good. I love all movies. I love Labyrinth. Give me some David Bowie. Give me some Magic Dance. I listen to that soundtrack all the time. I watched that movie as a child, and I just love it. And I love movies. I love a lot of movies. Doesn't matter. Oh goodness, there's so many. I can't even tell you. I love movies. I would say Labyrinth is probably my childhood movie that I go back to a lot. And what's movies popping up for me? Oh, there's this healing. I think it's called Healer, or maybe Heal, and I want to say it's on Amazon. That is a great series that kind of goes into a lot of the different types of healing that you can get. I used to be a hospice nurse, and like death and dying, and they go into that, and then people seeing angels, they go into past life regressions, they go into physical mediumship. It's a very interesting series, and it doesn't feel fake. There's a lot of things that maybe aren't real, like mediumship shows. They ghosts aren't scary. Ghosts are just people too.
Do you like Tyler Henry, the Hollywood medium?
Oh my God, I love Tyler Henry. He gives such, for physical mediumship, there's a lot of we get exhausted doing the work that we do. Yes, we can re-energize and things like that, but there is a physical component to the work that we do. And that's why you have to take care of yourself. But Tyler Henry like goes into it, and he was hospitalized, and you can see the physical toll that it can take on you. So
when did he get hospitalized? In the last couple of years?
In the last season, he I think he had like a lung issue, and he was hospitalized.
He's a big giver, and it's part of his path to, pump the brakes a little and just balance it even more, because he's a huge heart, huge giver. Yeah. Really, if I went to a show in Dallas, and it was incredible.
He's amazing. He's amazing. And I'm the other thing I want to say that keeps coming in my head is know what you don't know, and really seek out mentors that you trust, that do know it. Like I work in the records, and I do a lot of energy healing, but I've got some amazing medium friends that can be like, oh yeah, and kind of give me that confidence of you're on, you know what I mean? It's almost like a verification. I know what I don't know, and I know where to seek that out. So we all need to find some sort of spiritual community and some spiritual groups that we can trust, bounce things off of. I'm going for this awakening. I have a dark night, whatever it is. Oh my gosh, find those people that you resonate with, because they're part of your soul group, and they're part of your path to move forward.
It's like walking into an Indian restaurant. You live in some urban area, and you can walk into an Indian restaurant. They've got a special, the buffet. You can choose one of 50 dishes. I know Rachel Garrett, who's on the show right now. Rachel has her website, akashicangels.com. She's gone for a ton of certifications. She's
Way
definitely
too many.
pushy about expanding her skill sets and also grabbing, great experts around her for her own
Yeah.
learning. She also can get you certified. And before I finish the India metaphor, what's the number one service that's the first baby step people can take with you? Is it an hour session?
I would say a 30-minute session.
30-minute session. So the
That way
30
you
minute
can kind of
session.
get a flavor. Because when you work with a practitioner, it's the same thing with you. You've got to build up some trust.
Yeah.
People are coming to us that are in vulnerable states. They've gone through a lot of things. They've questioned, they're questioning themselves. And it's really, we provide a non-judgment, safe space that people are allowed to be vulnerable and allowed to be open. So we have to lay the stage for people to be allowed to drop their armor and to really be like, okay, let's get into it. But you can't just, you have to set up some sort of, conversation with that person. So I always recommend a 30-minute session and then kind of working up to an hour. But a lot of people like to start with an hour because they want to get the gusto. But I'm a fast talker and a
That's
fast
fine.
healer.
Yeah.
So I can get to the root fast.
The Indian restaurant metaphor was just like, hey, you've got the curry dishes, you've got this, you've got the vegetarian, you've got the, appetizers. It doesn't matter where you start, just get into the restaurant, catch the smells, the flavors, and do what resonates first for your first few servings. Trust me, you'll be back in line for more. Okay. And are there any other, could you share with us a couple stories that are uplifting, fun? You were in the middle of this situation, but as you walked down the street, this happened. How did you get direct help a few times where you were just left, even months, years later, you're shaking your head? Even today, as you recount the story, you're still shaking your head saying, wow.
What's interesting is that when I first started integrative energy therapy, and this is probably over 7 years ago, maybe longer, I tapped into, there's energetic grids all over the place. We all have
So explain that to us a different way. Does a workplace that operates a certain way, a public relations agency, this or that, they all have their own energy fields?
Everything has their own energy field. But the reason why I'm saying this is when I was driving home, I was able to look in the sky and see the energetic fields. And I was just like, huh. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not very visual, but I see grids. I see grids and I see light language coming in. And that always amazes me because I'm going off planet here. So we're galactic beings. We all have some galactic energy within us. And for me, downloading light language and going into being okay with that always blows me away because I'm like, huh, it's interesting. And I know that with me, so I carry one of the keys of Atlantis within me. And with that key, I'm able to activate other gifts within people. And that's something that I have a hard time wrapping my mind around. Even to say it out loud, that's not really something I share out loud. Then I'm like, that's pretty badass.
But you're getting a feel for what the person's about, their makeup, what their potential is, and you're helping them get unstuck. To get going in their living and their life.
I'll give you an example. I did an interview with a lady, and she channels light language. And I told her, I'm like, you're going to be channeling Arcturian light language. And the next day she was channeling it. So it's very much it's almost because we all have the gifts within us. Sometimes you just need someone to say, hey. And then
it's a practical experience. You're experiencing it all the time, and what you like and don't like, or the sixth sense. It could be just picking a restaurant. Thought you were going to the restaurant. You and your friend, your husband, your wife, you're walking in and you go, let's go over to Bob's or the Italian diner instead. And you just shift gears and you have no real explanation except it didn't feel right. Or buying a home. There's people, for example, who can taste the land or the air. They taste the air and they know that the land, no bueno, or that the house, it's not for you. It just doesn't resonate. And you just move on and save the time of even doing the tour.
For me, I will say that I've always followed my intuitive guidance. And no matter what, I've always known that I'm going to be okay. And that I know that I'm being guided. And there's so many moments and times. And I've had some amazing clients, you know, with transformational stories, because I can see your soul's mission coming in, and then I can see them living it in reality. That to me is like the best thing that I can see, and that I take a lot of joy in that. And I just, like I said, every single day is a gift, and I'm always amazed by what goes on. And I just, my work can be, you know, heavy. I work with, you know, we have 11,000 patients where I work, you know, and that can be heavy, but I'm always like, I'm grateful. I'm always, like I said, love or above. I'm in joy. I can shift out of things pretty quickly. And I think with practice, everyone can do that. And there's always like moments. I'll find a cool crystal on the ground. I'll look at a tree and they'll say hello. I'll see something in someone else and I'll be like, oh yeah. And I'm grateful for those signs and symbols, you know, and every day is just a new page of the long chapter of Rachel.
Yeah. That's good. It's good. I wanted to share, like in 2012 or 13, I was napping on this couch and I was in my original Austin home. It's sunny. Yeah. There's tons of windows. It's so I'm just like out on the couch, but I had a lucid dream.
Yeah.
And I tend to not remember my dreams much and all this other stuff. So it really stuck out. But I got shown these tablets and it was one after another that picked up with Hebrew letters or something on it. And it was like the Akashic Records. And it was part of the whole, like, you're okay. Here's the life story, whether I understood it or not. Yeah. There was a bigger thing going on, very visual, very faster and faster and faster. And it was given to me. And it was sort of like getting your passport stamped at the time. And it doesn't matter that I put it that way, so ditch that. But it was a direct experience and it was cool. And if I wanted to ask about it more, it's fine. I don't dwell on it. It's just, I needed to get through that to do whatever the next bit of learning was at the time. I don't even have to understand it. You don't have to know it, be able to explain it, or add some more of those in there to get it.
That's true.
And that's so crazy that we're putting it that way. You don't have to know it up here to get it here.
It's true. I like to know the scientific explanation for a lot of things, but there's a lot of things I can't explain scientifically. So as a nurse, I'm always trying to reconcile my education, but then I'm like, you know what? It is what it is, girlfriend. It's okay that I'm up on the Council of Light and I'm hanging out and I'm going to get my education, because there's a lot of stuff you can do on your dream time, and you can say like, well, my spirit guide for my best and highest good, please take me to a place for my highest and best learning. Done. Bye.
Okay, so you just got Dull Knife, Red Shirt Geronimo, and the Sai Baba from India, the one from 100+ years ago. I'm going to put Dull Knife's photo up, historical photos, Native American chiefs, unconditional love figures. And for anybody out there who's already like, yeah, let's do this, they're great for getting you from point A to B.
Yeah.
So here's Dull Knife, whose original name was Morning Star, wisdom with some humor. I'll use 2 hands to hold him steady. Get an answer, get a hug, and whatever you want to share, if it's extra to share or a private answer first, and then something for us if you could.
So what I'm getting is it's okay to start walking your path.
And why wait? There is no waiting. Like,
yeah. Okay, let's go.
Red Shirt, the least manliest description in the world, the gentlest mom in the world. He's got the biggest heart, so soft-spoken. So Red Shirt, compassion, compassion, compassion.
That I'm getting like there's a lot of beauty within. My feet are on fire.
Not literally. Okay, Geronimo, who steals the show. The first 2 are formal, proper, yes, no. Geronimo's like, yeah, nah, duh, you already know the answer. Just do it. He's action, 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 dry wit, lightning bolt. And here's the young Geronimo. I'll get you the older Geronimo in a second.
Love it.
And what's he say about your upcoming book? Not anything about the details of it, but just you're getting a lot of support.
Yeah. He's like, let's go, girlfriend. Not more to share.
Okay. And if you want to get a smell from him that's a sacred healing smell, it could be tobacco, sweetgrass, juniper, you know, cedar, pine. What are you getting?
I'm getting frankincense.
Good. Okay, one more for, I'll do Sai Baba in a second, but let me get you the older Geronimo because, oh my God, even though he's a tiger, this photo, you see the healer side of him. and a lot of gentleness, big heart.
Oh, I love him. Love him.
And what's the big reminder for us all that'll be one of the top 10 for the show that he's passing along?
You have a right to take up space in this world, and you have a right to speak your truth.
Good advice for us all. Sai Baba, Sri Shirdi Sai Baba, the one from I'm going to have to make up the year, 1917, 1915, how they had photographs back then. That's amazing. He intersects Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, but he's just Mr. Miracles, compassion, tight with angels. And this is another one of those photos like Audrey Hepburn that can move, wink, smile. So let him move in the photo for you. And just feel a whole vibe. If you want to catch the highest intent, the highest vibe of India, if we were talking music like we did before, songs, the alto, but catch India, catch that incense from a temple that you can't see. And then what does he have for you, for us?
That's interesting. I'm getting tune within and really honor where you're at in your path, but also I'm getting you got to meditate some more.
You got a homework assignment. I'm so sorry. You were meant to come on this.
I already know it. I've been working a lot of
here. Yeah. Here's Joy for a tip on the meditation. You don't have to share this out loud, but she's going to give you, so you don't feel like it was homework getting off the show.
And so I got it. It's return to breath work.
Okay, so that's been brought up, and I've heard of breath work. We're technically breathing all the time, which is hard to believe, except when we go to take a breath, it doesn't have to be like your doctor's office, the once a year physical. 2 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Did I get that right? And then that's the only time a lot of us, and I think Mother Teresa said it, we all wish we could slow down. We all wish we could be in our heart. And the whole idea of compassion for all is life, good luck with that. That sounds like a t-shirt, a movie. I'll get to it someday. But Mother Teresa says, for many, that the idea of just taking a breath is as close as they're going to get to compassion. They're up here, rat race, moving fast. Talk to us about how do this for us and take us through maybe 2 or 3 20-second little things that if I go to take a breath and my ego kicks in, it could be 3 hours later where I thought I took my breath. I never did. And my ego's got me cleaning the garage, doing this. I'm off clicking the TV controller, and I never took the breath. And it's that good at bullshitting us that, we never were in the moment and just did.
It's counting in. It's really just shifted into, it's just counting. You can shift into numbers. Counting in for 2. Inhale for 2, exhale for 4. So whatever you inhale, double it. So if I'm inhaling for 3, I'm pushing it out for 6. And that's really expanding your lungs and really getting that deep breath. So you have
But now you're a Peloton instructor, Rachel Garrett. You're in New York City, and this is the 6 million downloads a day because the breath exercise is so potent. Do it. Take us through it.
So it's really it's a 2-step meditation breath. Really just close your eyes. Inhale for 2, and I'm getting lightheaded. Exhale for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's really going to slow down your system no matter what. Inhale for 2. Exhale for 4.
Okay, now can we flip gears, switch gears?
Sure.
Why don't you, if it's okay to suggest this, and where's my lighter? Sure. See my aura. I always tell people to look at my nose, but go to my forehead if you have any difficulty, you want extra help. There's a lighter to distract. If you want joy, to put extra pink light around it.
Okay.
And now I'll close my eyes to make it less personal. Go to here and you can see my aura, but just say some of the colors. The more you let go, do your breath work. And I'll go on an old surfing trips or bodyboarding, so I'm in the water and loosening up.
So I'm getting white, gold, purple, green, blue.
And who said you can't see? If you want to put your hand out and feel it, but have angels do all the intermediate work, so it's not me. Highest self, universe, love, have Michael, Audrey, Joy, anybody else, Ariel, and vibe it so that you can do more words.
So healing, compassion, love, joy,
humor,
peace, man.
I love it. Well, thank you for doing all this. Is there we've got a book that's coming. It hasn't been written yet, but this is so groovy. Awesome to hear it. You've got your free Facebooks, the group. Remind us again, how do they find Rachel Garrett, RACHEL, no AEL, EL, Garrett, 2 R's, 2 T's, AkashicAngels.com. But how do I get to your Facebook? How do I know when? How do I not be shy about just taking that step?
Just go for it. Go for it.
You don't bite. You're nice.
I mean, honestly, like, people reach out to me on Facebook. They send me messages. And if, just send me a message. I don't care. Send me a message on Facebook, on Messenger if you want it private. Find Your Badass Life Purpose is my group. There's over 1,000 people in there. There's some amazing mentors, teachers, healers. It's a really safe space. Trust me, I boot out those that are not meant to be a part of it. And I've really created an amazing space. And then my page is Rachel C. Garrett. And on my website, there are some courses. There's a Supercharge Your Intuition. There's a money mindset one. I'm going to be teaching in Lilydale in June. And there's a lot of stuff coming up.
Cool. Do you mind if I act as the guinea pig? I did this on one of the other shows and it was really fun. So I never would have thought of it, but I've lost 2 parents, just part of my path. It was their time to go. It may sound glib, but it's not. I was 2. My dad passed, 6'1" Navy fighter pilot type off Naples, off the carrier Roosevelt, F4 Phantom crash, no body recovered, 1970. I'm 2. He was put into Arlington in 1998. Hundreds of people have met him, seen him. My mom, when I was turning 23, short, creative woman. So it's Barb and Mike. But here's their photo. They went to Syracuse together.
God, I love them.
And they're super sweet. My mom's an artist, great connector of people, not for her own purposes, but like when she introduced you, you either became best friends or that was your future wife or husband. She was a really good connector. Mike Sr.'s quiet, polite, the highest path intent. And that's Barb and Mike. You can interact any way that you're comfortable, but they're super great at just chatting and keeping it real.
I'm getting like, let's go for some tea.
So they're on my website, on my about page, if you need that again, because I know you've got tons of guides and everything else, but it doesn't hurt to have like Sylvia Brown, who's recently.
Oh my God, Sylvia Brown is one of my guides. Come on now.
Okay, well then we got to do her because she's tough as nails, can take care of herself. She'll tell you, like, don't worry about, anything reputational. Back when she's here, she's reconciled. Everyone gets reconciled, generally speaking, when they're like my parents. They're ready to go, they're love, and they're having fun. Here's Sylvia for you, and I'm so glad we brought this up.
Sylvia Brown.
Yeah. Oh, good. Give me one more second.
And you get her with the nails and the cigarette boys.
Yeah, she does the nails like, hey, if I'm like dawdling, like Geronimo the other day, I was like, am I a good manifester? I had to hear it for like, I always have to hear things 100 times. Welcome to being human. But he was just like, sweet Jesus, Mike. Yes. And he's like, get over it. We all get stuck on one side of the fence or on the fence and don't take that basic baby step. So I'm here to be enthusiasm, encouraging, and tell everyone watching, listening, those in South Africa, Australia, Canada, US, you've got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Geronimo's language. Okay, here's Sylvia.
Love her.
Yeah, and so glad we mentioned her out loud. She needs a little tooting of the horn here.
I'll tell you, Sylvia Brown was one of the things that made it okay to be a psychic and make it okay to be intuitive. Montel Williams, thank you very much. Sylvia Brown, love you.
Okay, so what's Sylvia? Remind us all.
The powers within. Powers within.
If anybody wants to
close, get your tools.
Good. And if anybody wants to close their eyes, you have a big toolbox. Just if you need help and you want the universe to do it, your higher self to do it, you to do it during dream time, just get started and allow and let your tools come in. Everything, feeling, seeing, sensing, helping others, but help yourself with self-love first. Yeah. Okay. Close your eyes, everybody. And you can hear her wrap her nails like, really, you've got this. Own it. You're amazing. Big heart. She's so loving and supportive. You can have, because you're really good at this, ask her to bring you a beautiful, like wisteria, roses, something amazing, but hand off your face, bring it in, and allow you at home watching can do this as well. But if you have to go to your happy place here, do it.
Oh yeah, I just got honeysuckle.
Yes, good. Oh, I love this. Okay. Last little bit. If a person is unaware of crystals, but they want a safe but colorful one, don't be me. Don't go buy onyx and all the black
No.
stuff.
Don't buy
Permanently.
onyx. Listen, don't buy obsidian if you have a pacemaker, because it will mess with your heart.
I have snowflake obsidian, a huge one
That's
right
okay.
there.
That's
Right,
okay.
right there.
Are you talking about what are some good crystals to get?
Yeah, a starter
Right.
crystal or
Number
two.
one, get some shungite. Shungite is good for EMF protection. It's also good for grounding. Black tourmaline's amazing too. You want to go up, get some carnelian for creativity. Get some citrine for abundance. Get some amethyst for opening up your heart. Going up, ooh, blue lace agate. It's a light blue crystal. That's really opens up this. For your third eye, clear quartz. Listen, clear quartz is an amplifier. It's very inexpensive. A quick, easy way, if you really want to amplify your dreams, get a clear quartz point and put it underneath your bed where your pillow is. It will help open up your dreams. And then for like your crown, same thing, amethyst. Amethyst is a mess. Yeah, selenite. Selenite's all for cleansing. And selenite will also charge all your crystals. I have crystals everywhere in my office. I use them a lot. And really you can a good trick with a crystal is you can draw a circle on it. Let's say you're meditating. I'm gonna ask my crystal a question. I'm gonna draw a circle on it. I'm gonna blow on it, close my eyes, and my crystal's gonna give me a nice answer.
In India, I was at a temple, not in India, but a temple that's Indian in America, and it's tons of people from India. That's where they go. So it's like being on Indian soil. It's authentic, cultural. But folks from India will tell you point blank, everything speaks. You only have to listen. So whether it's trees,
Absolutely.
crystals, and so on. So if you don't mind, we're going to do another one of those exercises. This is a different piece of selenite. So if you need a way to grasp it or just get over it, think of every little bit of crystal having a slightly own take on everything, so that this selenite isn't necessarily the same as her selenite, that she can get an original answer from here. Here's the selenite if you want to put your hand out and get a little whisper. This is crystal whispering, and this is Rachel Garrett, R-A-C-H-E-E-L. No A.
R-A-C-H-E-L.
Yep, Garrett,
C-A-R-R-E-T-T.
And what are you getting for us?
Remember to stay grounded.
Ooh. Okay, and then I've got a new one we never mentioned today. It's because I don't get to do the crystal stuff very often, but I'm not going to know how to say it. Is it Tibetan quartz? Did I say it?
Yeah, I have one of those. That's
okay, yeah,
crystal.
yeah. So here's with the flex in it. This is from Tibet, but okay, I'll get out of your way.
You're good.
Oh, you already got it?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Oh, wait a second. I was feeling the energy of it. It really is opening up. It's opening up the crown. If you want to open up more of your crown in your third eye, get that bad boy out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love quartz there's so many different types of quartzes. There's scenic quartz, there's garden quartz, there's Tibetan quartz, there's rose quartz. Oh, I love the quartzes, but it's all about amplifying energy.
I have white blocks on my property in the back, like every 10 feet, that glow in the dark. It has that when you look through some sort of a device, it glows in the evening, and it's a celestite, maybe I forgot the name of it. Ooh, it's a white block, but then on top I have rose quartz in the backyard. Beautiful pieces, and there's a smaller piece of rose quartz right there. That's part of the series, though. Yeah, so look, everything around you is your instruction. And if you want to look back to problems, situations, dilemmas, what's happening to you, if you can shift your perspective and your consciousness, how you approach things, and realize it's just energy, then everything Rachel's been talking about from beginning to end falls more into place, and you start to view it as tools, taking action and ownership. So with the last little bit to recap here, how do we take ownership of all this energy? How do we acknowledge we're bigger than we ever are gonna, we can't grasp this, but how can we?
You're one piece of a big puzzle. You're one piece of a puzzle. You're a puzzle piece in the universe game of life. You're a puzzle.
But a glowing puzzle piece.
A glowing puzzle piece. A beautiful. We're all energetic balls of light. And I'm a beautiful piece of the cog in the wheel. I'm a part of the wheel. And
but you help hand us a flashlight to get us over to the table to help put some more pieces together.
That I do. But yeah, but we're in but like I said in the middle of this is that we are not that special that we're going to be left out of this beautiful game of the universe. We're all part of it. Like like I'm not that special that they're like.
We'll say it a different way too, which is everyone is.
We're all connected.
Super amazing, interconnected. Yeah. Opening openness.
Yeah, we're multi-dimensional beings. We can tap into anything and everything. I can pull in the energy of the dolphins right now, my angels, the guides, doesn't matter. Energy follows intention.
I love it. Okay. Last exercise here, anything, if it's okay, but ask Joy without her photo. You don't need her photo, or the fairies. Just ask if you've got this, and I'll mention it in a second. Just get a thumbs up.
Oh, it's funny.
And it's this. It's cupping your hands like you have a butterfly. You can do this at home. Put it in your lap. Now, this is a lot, so just get out of your own way. Cup your hands like you have a butterfly in there. You don't have to look down just yet. But when you hear ready, look down. And what I'm going to suggest is pretend you have a little bird, a little butterfly in there, but let angels and guides and light beings and fairies bring you something made out of light. So three-dimensional. Could be a lotus flower made out of 16 colors. It could be a running deer. It could be a butterfly. If it's a butterfly or a hummingbird, let it fly around. But when you get a tap on the shoulder, you hear laughter, you smell flowers, you hear a ready, you're going to open it like a book, and you're going to let the platform hold light energy in your hand. A flower, something special, unique to you. Could be just a ball of beautiful light. And you can either bring it in to your heart, but if it's a butterfly, don't smush it. Let it fly around, and then we're going to let Rachel have a moment. Cup your hands, bring it in, get given something, and then look down and see what you got.
I already got it. It's a bluebird.
What'd you get?
A bluebird.
Nice. Yeah. That's a lot. And I have to thank Rachel Garrett. You've been an amazing guest. Is there anything else you've got for us?
No.
I think we've covered, the bases.
Everything. We've covered everything. Okay,
but let's do one last thing. How about a mantra that if I said it 50 times during my week, I'd be well served? Besides, I am love.
You know what's interesting is I'm getting this for spiritual entrepreneurs. Is my work is of high service and worthy of massive compensation.
That's good for any business people out there or anybody who gives service to others. Yeah. I'm high worth and I'm worthy of high compensation from others.
Yeah.
You're like, I just breathed. I did the 2 seconds in and at least 3.5 seconds out.
Just allow it to come in, and I'm supported by divine. Yeah.
Trust more, worry less, I'll add from this end.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I love it. Well, that's one of the ones where the Chiefs were knocking me in the back of the head.
I love it.
And I was still on my journey. I'm still on my journey now, but we should have seen it 10 years ago. Way on my journey back then. Okay. Thank you, everybody watching. Thank you, Rachel Garrett in New York. And it's AkashicAngels.com. Yeah. Amazing Facebook group to go maybe check out. That one's free, but she is not. So grab her for a half an hour, grab her for an hour, and see what happens.
Yeah. Good things.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of Angels, Positivity, and Love. Thank you, Rachel Garrett.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate being on. Thank you.